Senator Agnezani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We look like we're having problems with our gadgets. We're trying to follow the order, the new supplementary. None of us is able to open. So can we find a way forward, either technologically, or how are we going to proceed? But there's a problem. These gadgets are not opening at the moment. Thank you.
Yes, Secretariat, what is it? Okay, can the technicians look at the gadgets? Have you managed to open? Huh? Are we there? Actually, the papers that are being laid are in the old order paper. So, as you try to sort out the problem, you can use the old order paper. So there was Chairman Jailak. Order, Senator Jarike. Leader of majority. Order, Senator Murkomen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, 4th August 2020. Number 1, the crops, fiber crops regulation 2020. Number 2, the crops, horticultural crops regulations 2020. I thank you.
Next order. Any member from the jailer? Yeah. Oh, Senator Sakaja. Senator Haniri, what's your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, I heard you say that
we
can proceed because the paper is being laid on the old order paper. But I want to inform you that the gadgets are not opening. Even the old order paper, we don't have. So we cannot follow what is the proceedings of the House without the order paper. Even the old one is not there.
Senator Mazayo. Is that the common problem?
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba tuko na department ama kitengo ambacho kinahusikana na mambo ya kutengeza hivi vidude ama tunaviita sijui vilolopipo. Ikiwa vilolopipo.
Tulisema inaitwa nini?
Vipopolipo. Vipopolipo. Bwana Spika, lakini cha muhimu zaidi ni kwamba ni kwa nini hivi leo katika mitandao ambayo sisi tunapewa hapa ndani ya bunge la Senate, ni leo peke yake ndio hii mitandao haifanyi kazi. Na wale ambao wanahusika, ingekuwa muhimu Bwana Spika, ikiwa wanaweza kutoa uamuzi ya kwamba hivi vilolopipo ama hivi popolipo pamoja na hii mitandao ambayo tuko nayo hapa ifanye kazi mara moja, waambie wafungue. Asante.
We have the technicians to assist in Senator Cherargei, what's your intervention?
I think, Mr. Speaker, this is a very serious day and there are serious issues we are supposed to discuss. I think the Secretariat should in future, at least if they're experiencing challenges, should let the House know in advance so that we are well prepared. But at this point, Mr. Speaker, my suggestion is we can proceed, but Mr. Speaker, I'm just giving an opinion. You will have your time to speak. Let us proceed, but at least in the next few minutes, Mr. Speaker, the technological challenges can be rectified, because I don't want to go to say we can be able to get papers here since because of the challenges of COVID. So in my own opinion, let us proceed with the order of the day as the Secretariat works around the clock in ensuring that it's fixed. I thank you, Speaker.
Senator Aaron Cheriot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is rather unfortunate on such a day. But I just wish, because I can hear some colleagues saying we adjourn, but I think we can make do. We have the Senate business on the official WhatsApp page. It is posted there, so people can access it. Everyone who has a phone and the members there.
It's on your WhatsApp.
So the supplementary
business.
order paper is there, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, open your WhatsApp. Yeah, okay. Okay, Senator Kindiki Kiduri.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'm in support of us continuing on condition that we don't pass the contentious formula.
Yeah, out of order, Senator Kindiki. Senator Sakaja.
Mr. Speaker, I don't understand why you've let Senator Cheriot get off with that proposal of WhatsApp. He's a commissioner. And if anything, he needs to come to report to this House, because even last time we had challenges with some of the mics. I remember Senator Ledama was contributing, we could not hear. Today, Mr. Speaker, I'm made to understand that there are certain amendments to my motion, and no one can see it, Mr. Speaker. So, you know, we need a report from the Commission as to whether this is like the servers or what is happening, so that we also get these amendments. But going forward, Mr. Speaker, for today, please, Mr. Speaker, allow the Secretariat to print out the order paper, because I hear there are 3 amendments to the formula, and we are already discussing the motion that I brought before the House, Mr. Speaker. So that we can all look at it, let's look at the math and decide how to move forward, Mr. Speaker. I would urge, if the technical system is not sorted out, we all get a hard copy of those proposals by, I think, Senator Wamatangi and Senator Orengo, so that we can also be, bring ourselves up to speed with that, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, they are going to run hard copies, which will be brought. Can we make progress? Next order. Chair Jailak, okay, Senator Sakaji. Vice.
Thank you once again, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Tuesday, the 4th of August, 2020. The report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on the Elections Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 18 of 2019. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Majority Leader. Yeah, wear your masks, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to give a notice of the following motion. Suspension of the sitting of the Senate outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020. That aware that pursuant to
Let's
Article
consult in low tones. Yeah. Did.
That aware that pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution and Standing Order 31(1) of the Senate by resolution passed on 21st June 2018 resolved that a sitting of the Senate be held away from the traditional premises in Parliament buildings in Nairobi, and that such sitting take place in all regions during the term of the Third Senate. Recognizing that the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to persist in the country, resulting in disruptions to the conduct of the business of the Senate and Parliament as a whole, appreciating that in accordance with the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health advisory for the containment of the pandemic, a set of guidelines have been issued for both Senate plenary and committee to contain the spread of the pandemic in Parliament in particular and in Kenya as a whole. Now, therefore, the Senate resolved that, notwithstanding the resolution of 21st June 2018, the sittings outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020 to be suspended. I thank you.
The next order is still yours. The motion, okay.
Which is which? Is it the one for mess?
For yeah.
Let Nani move. I'm a bit unwell.
Senator Wetangula.
Wetangula.
Senator Wetangula. Hello, order members. Let us observe social distancing, please. Please. Let's observe social distancing. It's serious.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That aware that on the 19th September 2019, Senate resolved to establish a select committee comprising 9 senators to investigate and establish the facts surrounding the leasing of medical equipment in the now 119 beneficiary hospitals countrywide, appreciating that the initial mandate of the select committee lapsed on 5th October 2019 and extensions of the same approved by the Senate on 12th November 2019, on 4th March 2020, and 14th July 2020, respectively, regretting that due to new evidence arising from the hearings revealed important gaps that need to be addressed in the inquiry, and further owing to the sheer scale and magnitude of the investigations and the amount of documents involved, now therefore, the Senate resolves to renew the mandate of the committee by a further period of 34 days to enable the ad hoc committee to conclude its work and table its report in the Senate on or before 8th September 2020.
Okay. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
So statements are also deferred because of what we have ahead of the House. Next order.
Order number 8, the Mang Beans Bill, Senate Bills number 9 of 2020. First reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the development, regulation, and promotion of the Mang Beans sector and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, motion, the suspension of the sittings of the Senate outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020.
Mimi nimeshindwa kutafuta hii kitu.
Who is moving?
Mr. Speaker, I wish to move the following motion. Suspension of the sitting of the Senate outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020. That aware that pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution and Standing Order 31 of the Senate by resolution passed on 21st June 2018 resolved that a sitting of the Senate be held away from the traditional premises in Parliament Building in Nairobi, and that such sitting take place in all regions during the term of the 3rd Senate. Recognizing that the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to persist in the country, resulting in disruptions
Let's consult in low tones
to the conduct of business of the
as we
Senate
observe social
and of the
distancing.
Parliament as a whole. Appreciating that in accordance with the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health advisory for the containment of the pandemic, a set of guidelines have been issued for both Senate plenary and committee to contain the spread of the pandemic in Parliament in particular, and in Kenya as a whole. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that, notwithstanding the resolution of 21st June 2018, the sitting outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020 be suspended. Mr. Speaker, this is fairly a procedural motion and a very straightforward motion. The reason why we are not having this sitting outside Nairobi this year is because of the challenges we are facing. So therefore, I wish to request Senator Mutula Jr. to second. I thank you.
Yes, Mutula Jr.
Thank you, Speaker. This is a straightforward motion. We cannot sit outside Nairobi because of the prevailing circumstances of COVID. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I think for this session, we should postpone this visit to another time. I second.
Okay, other members. Honorable, take your seats, please. I now propose the question, which is that aware that pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution and Standing Order 31 of Senate, the Senate by resolution passed on 21st June 2018 resolved that a sitting of the Senate be held away from traditional premises in Parliament buildings in Nairobi, and such sittings take place in all regions during the term of the 3rd Senate. Recognizing that the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to persist in the country, resulting in disruptions to the conduct of business of the Senate and of Parliament as a whole, and appreciating that in accordance with the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health advisory for containment of the pandemic, a set of guidelines have been issued for both Senate plenary and committees to contain the spread of the pandemic in Parliament in particular and in Kenya as a whole. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that notwithstanding the resolution of 21st June 2018, the sittings outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020 be suspended. I put the question. Because that are aware that pursuant to Article 126(1) of the Constitution and Standing Order 31(1) of the Senate by resolution passed on 21st June 2018, resolved that a sitting of the Senate be held away from traditional premises in Parliament buildings in Nairobi, and that such sittings take place in all regions during the term of the Third Senate. Recognizing that the COVID-19 pandemic has continued to persist in the country, resulting in disruptions to the conduct of business of the Senate and Parliament as a whole, appreciating that in accordance with the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health Advisory for the containment of the pandemic, a set of guidelines have been issued for both Senate plenary and committee to contain the spread of the pandemic in Parliament, in particular in Kenya as a whole. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that notwithstanding the resolution of 21st June 2018, the sitting outside Nairobi for the 4th session 2020 be suspended. As a manner of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As a manner of a contrary view, say nay. The ayes have it. Next. Yeah. No, what of the... Next order.
Order number 10, extension of the mandate of the ad hoc committee on managed medical equipment services.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move the following motion. That aware that on 19 September 2019, Senate resolved to establish a select committee comprising 9 senators to investigate and establish the facts surrounding the leasing of the medical equipment in the now 119 beneficial hospitals countrywide, appreciating that the initial mandate of the select committee lapsed on 5th October 2019 and the extensions of the same approved by the Senate on 12th November 2019, 4th March 2020, and 14th July 2020, respectively, regretting that due to new evidence arising from the hearings revealed important gaps that need to be addressed in the inquiry, and further owing to the sheer scale and magnitude of the investigations and the amount of documentation involved, now therefore, the Senate resolves to renew the mandate of the committee by a further period of 34 days to enable the ad hoc committee to conclude its work and table its report in the Senate on or before 8th September 2020. Mr. Speaker, this is a request to the House to expand the time of the committee, that is ad hoc on maize program. So far, Mr. Speaker, I want to inform the Senate that all the hearings have been concluded. A raw draft of the report is nearly concluded. Last week, Mr. Speaker, you may recall you approved our retreat to Naivasha, and we worked round the clock for 4 days. And we are aware that all things being equal, the House is to take a recess for about a month at the end of the sitting today. The committee, Mr. Speaker, has done, in my humble view, a very sterling job in trying to unearth this difficult situation where each of our counties has been paying huge sums of money towards a suspect scheme, and we want as a committee to bring to this House a report that is deep, that is well-researched, that is factual, that brings to a conclusive and definitive end to this saga of leasing medical equipment. I don't want to go into the details, Mr. Speaker, but members may recall that some of our hearings have been aired live on several national televisions, and we thank the media for that. And the responses we have been receiving from the public have been quite positive, I want to urge the House, Mr. Speaker, that if we are not going on recess, we probably would have brought the report to the House in the next 10 days or less. I want to also confirm to the House, Mr. Speaker, that the membership of the committee of 9 members have been extremely engaged and very cooperative. In most of our sittings, we have been having 100% turnout of members asking very inquisitorial questions. We have had Zoom meetings last week with the former Minister Mailu, all the way from Geneva, the former Attorney General and others. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge the House to give the committee this extension so that we can bring the report at the opening of this House after the recess, and we will not, and I promise we will not, come back to the House to ask for any further extension. I want to invite, Mr. Speaker, as I beg to move the motion, Senator Millicent Omanga, a member of the committee, to second the motion, and urge the House to give us this support so that we can put this aside and go to the real business of the day today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move.
Asante Bwana Spika, napenda kuunga mkono mswada wa kutaka komiti maalum ya kuangalia MES, kamati ya MES iweze kupata muda kidogo uongezewe. Kusema kweli Bwana Spika, kamati imeweza kufanya kazi mzuri sana. Tungepata siku nyingine 2-3 kama nyumba. Hatukuwa leo tunamaliza mula huu, tungeweza kuleta ripoti kwenye floor ya Senate. Bwana Speaker, I second.
I was going to tell you to be careful. Look at your standing orders. Okay, Honorable Senators, I now propose that you are aware that on 19 September 2019, Senate resolved to establish a select committee comprising 9 senators to investigate and establish the facts surrounding the leasing of the medical equipment in the now 119. Take your seat, Senator Shiro. Facts surrounding the leasing of the medical equipment in the now 119 beneficiary hospitals countrywide. Appreciating that the initial mandate of the select committee lapsed on 5th October 2019, an extension of the same approved by the Senate on 12th November 2019, on 4th March 2020, and on 14th July 2020, respectively. Regretting that due to new evidence arising from the hearings revealed important gaps that need to be addressed in the inquiry, and further owing to the sheer scale and magnitude of the investigations and the amount of documentation involved, now therefore the Senate resolves to renew the mandate of the committee by a further period of 34 days to enable the ad hoc committee to conclude its work and table its report to the Senate on or before 8 September 2020. Senator Rose Nyamunga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise to support the extension for the period that is required by the committee, the ad hoc committee on meds. Mr. Speaker, I have faith in the committee and taking into account the work that we have seen them do. It is very important, Mr. Speaker, that we get to the root of the truth on medical equipment leasing, because many counties have lost a lot of money, and it is important for us to get to the root and solve this problem once and for all. And I want to urge the committee that let it be the last extension so that we conclude this matter, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Mwaura Isaac, then Senator Langat from the other chamber, start coming forward.
Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Nafikiri naunga mkono kuongezwa kwa muda kwa hii kamati maalum, na nafikiri niwaambie kwamba wamechukua muda zaidi tayari, kwa sababu nafikiri wiki iliyopita waliweza kwenda katika mahala pa faraga ili waweze kutatua masala ibuka ambayo yanahusu hii ripoti maalum. Lakini Mheshimiwa Speaker, hili ni jambo sugu ambalo Wakenya wengi wanadadisi kwamba itaonyesha ubabe wa bunge la Seneti. Kwa hiyo tunawahusi waangazie kwa kina na maana zaidi, ili tuweze kuondoa huu ubadhirifu wa rasilimali za nchi na ili tuweze kuwa na afueni katika sekta ya afya. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono.
Mutula Kilonzo Jr. And don't come too close to the speaker. Those who are coming to consult, proceed, Senator.
Speaker, I think they should put a screen for you so that we don't approach you too much. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support, but at the same time say that this is the longest serving ad hoc committee. Of course, on the last day, there's nothing much we can do but give you an extension. And we hope Senator Fatuma Dulo and Senator Wetangula that you will not disappoint us. We are extending this because we don't want you to disappoint us. So, and we have seen what is in the public domain. We are already making our own conclusions. The Court of Public Opinion has confirmed. So all you need is to validate what we have always thought about medical leasing equipment was a mess. I support.
Senator Lagarde, then I will put the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to support this particular motion on the extension of the time for this very important committee or ad hoc committee on medical equipment. Mr. Speaker, I know very well at the point when this particular committee was almost at a conclusion, the challenge of COVID-19 ended or came into this country. And the committee has been facing a lot of challenges, also meeting various members that were supposed to give very important information, and most of them, Mr. Speaker, were promoted to be ambassadors in other countries, and it wasn't easy to reach them. So I do support, Mr. Speaker, and urge the committee that this is a very important area that every Kenyan is looking forward. You know, mess has become a mess, and every Kenyan, Mr. Speaker, is looking forward for a solution to this particular problem, which has been taking money for the counties right from the source to the tune of 200 million every month, every year. So I want to support the extension of the time for this committee and actually tell them the importance of the same is highly expected by the Kenyans. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this particular extension. Thank you.
Okay, order. Take your seats, senators. Senator Malala, take your seat. Senator Malala, take your seat. Honorable senators, I now put the question, which is that aware that on 19 September 2019, Senate resolved to establish a select committee comprising 9 senators to investigate and establish the facts surrounding the leasing of the medical equipment in now 119 beneficiary hospital countrywide, appreciating that the initial mandate of the select committee lapsed on 5th October 2019 and extensions of the same approved by the Senate on 12th November 2019, on 4th March 2020, and on 14th July 2020 respectively, regretting that due to new evidence arising from the hearings revealed important gaps that need to be addressed in the inquiry, and further owing to the sheer scale and magnitude of investigations and the amount of documentation involved, now therefore the Senate resolves to renew the mandate of the committee by a further period of 34 days to enable the ad hoc committee to conclude its work and table a report in the Senate on or before 8 September 2020. As many of that opinion say aye. As many of the contrary view say nay. The ayes have it. Let me call the leader of majority to issue a statement before we go to the next order.
It's long, Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, pursuant to Standing Order 52.1, I hereby present to the Senate the business of the House for Tuesday, 8 September 2020, pursuant to the calendar passed on 27 February 2020 and as amended by resolution made on 17 March, 14 April, and 2nd June 2020, respectively. The Senate is scheduled to proceed on recess at the rise of the Senate today, 4th August 2020, until Tuesday, 8th September 2020. On that day, Tuesday, 8th September 2020, the Senate Business Committee will meet to schedule the business of the Senate. The Senate will consider bills scheduled for second reading and those at the Committee of the Whole stages on 8th September 2020. The Senate will also continue with consideration of business that will not be concluded in today's order paper, including motions, petitions, and statements. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to commend all senators for the work we have been able to do even under the prevailing COVID pandemic circumstances. I would particularly wish to commend senators for the work that we have done in this session so far, including passage and subsequent enactment into law of the following bills. Number 1, County Government Amendment. Number 2, Senate Bill number 7 of 2017. Number 2, County Government Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 11 of 2017.
Order. Let's consult in low tones. There seems to be, Senator Cherargei, you have become a nomad again.
Number 3, the Office of the County Bill, Senate Bill number 3 of 2018. Number 4, the Petition to County Assemblies Procedure Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2018. This brings the number of bills that have been passed by the Senate and assented to by His Excellency the President into law to 12 acts of Parliament. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, a total of 19 bills are still due for second reading and a further 17 bills are at the Committee of the Whole stage. I am aware that there are more legislative proposals which are under development by individual senators and standing committees. These will undoubtedly, upon approval by the Speaker, increase the total number of bills in the Senate and the workload before us. The Senate Business Committee will continue to prioritize these bills accordingly. In this regard, I urge the relevant standing committee to use the opportunity during the coming recess to expeditiously conclude consideration of these bills and table reports pursuant to the standing orders. Likewise, I urge standing committees to also conclude.
Are you through?
No. Mr. Speaker, even as the Senate proceeds on recess, critical business remains relating to financial matters, namely the third basis for revenue allocation among county governments and the county allocation of revenue bill. Following the tabling of the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on 13 July 2020 on the revenue allocation formula and the concerns that were raised by colleagues on the proposed formula, efforts were made through the intervention of the Senate leadership by constituting a team of senators from both sides to address these concerns. Unfortunately, following from the debate of this motion, which commenced on Tuesday, 28 July 2020, and which is scheduled to resume today, we senators are still grappling on this matter. I continue to urge
people should wear their masks.
My fellow
honorable senators,
colleague senators, that as we resume the debate today, we need to proceed with patience, understanding, and objectively, as the matter is undoubtedly weighty and timely, Mr. Speaker, as the House of Parliament mandated with the protection of the interests of counties and their government, as stated at the Article 96 of Constitution. We want what is best for not only our individual counties, but all counties collectively. A resolution on this matter will
Senator
then
Mtula
pass,
Kilonzo Jr.,
pave
what's
a
your
way
intervention?
for consideration for the county allocation of revenue bill. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you and hereby lay the statement on the table of the House. I thank you.
Okay. Next order, Senator Mazayo. Yes, Senator Mtula Kilonzo Jr.
Mr. Speaker, before you move to the next order, I thought it would be, and I have said this severally, perhaps for avoidance of doubt and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, repeat that the report of the majority leader on the business we have conducted cannot be complete without a report of the business that is lying in the National Assembly. We are owed that duty. The members of the SBC might be aware, but this plenary is owed a duty over the pending bills that we have passed. Mr. Speaker, that report is not complete in my view, and I would be happy to have those directions, Mr. Speaker, for the next report to be complete. Thank you.
Okay, I think the leadership of the majority side has noted what has been raised by Senator Mtula Kilonzo Jr. Next order.
Order number 11, motion. Approval of the third basis for revenue allocation among the county governments.
What's your point of order, Senator Murkomen?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to rise on Standing Order 105. Mr. Speaker, which says that a senator who wishes to postpone to some future occasion the further discussion of a question which has been proposed from the chair may, for reasons stated, claim to move that the debate be now adjourned. Mr. Speaker, the subject matter that is before us is extremely important. There is a report of the committee, which, Mr. Speaker, Senator Sakaja proposed an amendment to that report. And it is, we say in law, you take judicial notice of the fact that the amendment that was brought by the majority whip was extremely contentious on the floor of this House. And, Mr. Speaker, led to a process where even the House was adjourned by 9 o'clock to adjourn the debate that was going on the amendment of Senator Sakaja. Mr. Speaker, I know that there is a debate across the country about division of revenue, and everybody is looking up to the Senate. Senate being the citadel of hope. It is the place that everybody looks at, a place of wisdom. And there are many questions Kenyans are asking. Is this the same Senate that Senator Haji, the chair of BBI, is sitting? Is this the same Senate that Attorney General Emeritus Amos Wako is sitting? Is this the same Senate that has three, Mr. Speaker, senior counsels in law, Senator Orengo, Senator Mogeni? Is this the same Senate, Mr. Speaker, that has elders that the whole country is looking up to for leadership? Why would a Senate with that repository of knowledge and wisdom and experience be a house where we cannot agree on a process that unites the country? Mr. Speaker, the conversation that is going on at the moment, Senator Sakaja has brought a very important amendment to the committee report, but, Mr. Speaker, it has not helped to unite the country. The original report will not help unite the country. But there is an opportunity for all of us as a Senate to have a conversation, Mr. Speaker, around this subject matter and come to a conclusion that, Mr. Speaker, those who are losing by a huge margin may perhaps lose very little. Those who are gaining by a huge margin, Mr. Speaker, may gain a little. And then we keep our country together. Mr. Speaker, it is with this in mind that, Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask that this House, Mr. Speaker, adjourns the debate on this report, and we find ways. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, this House cannot, Mr. Speaker, be defeated to find solution. Because I ask myself, Mr. Speaker,
The majority leader in this house comes from a party that got the highest number of MPs from Samburu, from Mr. Speaker Narok, from Mr. Speaker Garissa. How would even its party leader sitting in this house, Mr. Speaker, feel to vote against Samburu, which gave that party 3 members of parliament? What will Senator Lelekwe go back to Samburu and tell them? And what is the party leader of that party go and tell the people of Samburu? Mr. Speaker, we cannot close our eyes on the map.
And Senator Orengo captured it very well last week. I wish we listened to Senator Orengo. And Mr. Speaker, because if you look at the map of the losers, Mr. Speaker, you will realize that there is a big, huge red map of a greater land mass of this country, Mr. Speaker, who are losing. And then there are dots in green in a particular corner that are gaining. And then, Mr. Speaker, we have the confidence to tell the people of Kenya, Kenya is about population. But the definition of a country, its people and its territory, Mr. Speaker. We cannot close our eyes on the conversation that Mandera, Mr. Speaker, even though it has few people now and less occupied by people, is because, Mr. Speaker, its potential has not been exploited. Mr. Speaker, in the same manner, Mr. Speaker, I would say that other counties like Turkana, which has 700,000 people, Mr. Speaker, I mean less than 1 million people,
Senator
if we develop it well, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Senator Cherargei, what's your intervention?
My issue is concerned that my leader, Senator Murkomen, wants to mislead the country. The Kangangata amendment was proposed.
Senator Murkomen, take your seat in the meantime and put on your mask. Please. Okay.
Senator Murkomen is making a very good presentation, but he should not mislead the country on one thing. That the Kangata amendment had proposed to freeze for 3 financial years to ensure the part of the country can find solution to this issue. So my point of order is he should stop misleading the country and tell us that he is supporting Senator Sakaja's amendment instead of glossing over issues. Thank you, Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, first of all, Senator Cherargei, whom I truly respect and I've said in this house, and he truly respects me, who was my very bright student, Mr. Speaker, has moved to a different subject, which is the motion itself. I am moving an adjournment motion, and I'm making a case for this adjournment motion, Mr. Speaker. And I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, it's not possible. It's not possible, Mr. Speaker, that the rest of us who come from the few parts of our country that are dotted with green, would, Mr. Speaker, congregate in the chambers of this house and disregard completely our brothers and sisters that are crying for conversation. A country that is not able to sit down with its own people, a leadership, Mr. Speaker, of a Senate like this, that has men and women who are aspiring to lead this country, some who are party leaders, cannot, Mr. Speaker, take sides against its citizens, Mr. Speaker. The reason why, Mr. Speaker, today people are not occupying, Mr. Speaker, Turkana, and everybody was running there when we say there is oil, is because of its potential. Let me ask you, Mr. Speaker, there are many counties that are going to get greater resources, but Taita Taveta County, Mr. Speaker, which has Savo National Park, which contributes immensely, Mr. Speaker, to our national resources, Mr. Speaker, is supposed to be one of the counties we should ignore and say there are few people, we forget about it. I am requesting under Standing Order 105, Mr. Speaker, that once more, let's give, Mr. Speaker, reason, Mr. Speaker,
What's
an
your
opportunity.
point of order, Senator?
Let's give, Mr. Speaker, an opportunity.
There's a point of order from Senator Kangata.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 58 of the Senate, and I read to you certain motions not to be moved. Sabbatical 1, no motion which is the same in substance as any question which has been resolved, either in the affirmative or in the negative, may be moved during the preceding 6 months in the same session. Mr. Speaker, sir, before this motion
Can you take your seats? You are standing.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, sir, before this motion is supported by whoever will second it, I need your ruling on the question whether this motion is the same as the motion that was moved last week by Honorable Senator James Orengo, which we voted on, and it was defeated. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
It's different.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, because it's so obvious that the adjournment motion Senator Orengo moved was during the amendment of Senator Kangata. And I think, Mr. Speaker, let's make I know I was not asked to make any rule. You will make it at your own time, but allow me to just conclude, Mr. Speaker, what the motion I was moving, unless...
The point of order, Senator Sakaja.
Mr. Speaker, well, at this point, I may not fully agree with the motion by Senator Murkomen, and I'm waiting to hear him. I just like, Mr. Speaker, because you've been asked by the majority whip to make a decision. First, I'd like to encourage him to be reading things to the end. It's a very nice habit, Mr. Speaker. Standing Order 58 talks about a motion in its substance, and that is mainly substantive motions. But if you go to 58.2, it says, despite even that provision, a motion to rescind the decision on such a question may be moved with your permission. And the fact that you've allowed Senator Murkomen to move it means that you've actually given him permission to move a motion to consider that decision that was made by the House. So, Mr. Speaker, it is just an exhortation to the whip to read more.
Okay, Senator Murkomen, conclude.
So, Mr. Speaker, I was at the point before I was interrupted. Mr. Speaker, I have tremendous respect for Senator Kangata because he's the Sonu leader who led us to the streets when I joined first year. And
Whip, can you take your seat?
And it's actually
standing orders.
For the record of the public, when we joined the University of Nairobi, Senator Kangata was the Sonu vice chair. So, and he led a very serious demonstration, Mr. Speaker, which we came up to Parliament here to see people like Senator Orengo. And these are the guys we were looking up to. And Mr. Speaker, he was then expelled and sought the help of Senator Mutula. And I'm sure he's very sympathetic to the situation of Makueni, Mr. Speaker, because Senator Mutula came through for him that time. Suffice to note that we went to campaign with him as a councillor in Muranga. So I have a lot of respect for him. And Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to say, I was at the point where I was saying, there is no part of our country that we can really donate to anybody. In fact, I had the trouble, Mr. Speaker, as the chair of devolution committee. I visited Tana River, I visited Garissa, I visited, Mr. Speaker, Wajir, I visited Marsabit and Turkana. And it was deliberate as a devolution committee. We told ourselves, in last time, it was important. Senator Amos Wako bears me witness. And we were given a chance to address county assemblies to understand the marginalization of those regions. Mr. Speaker, I wish our conversation about those counties, Mr. Speaker, would be done when we are visiting those areas. Mr. Speaker, this country, there are parts of this nation that people are still walking without clothes. There are parts of this nation in Wajir where people are drinking water. They have to go for 1 week to get water. Mr. Speaker, for us to appreciate this kind of conversation, I am requesting my colleagues, let's give dialogue one more chance. Let's adjourn this motion, Mr. Speaker, for us to have a conversation, Mr. Speaker, on how to find a way forward that, Mr. Speaker, can unite all of us.
Senator Bogisho.
And, Mr. Speaker,
there's another point of order from the leader of Majority. Try to conclude, Senator Murkomen, so that
I'm concluding.
But
I'm just saying that the consultations and even distance, the people are not keeping the distances.
Senators, please, coronavirus is real. Please observe the protocols. Social distance, please, please, please. We are pleading with you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I really want to beg my colleagues, like Senator Orengo attempted last time, I want to try this last attempt to request my colleagues that, Mr. Speaker, we have a chance. Those of us who come from Jubilee and those of us who come from ODM, the people of Kenya respected us and elected Uhuru Kenyatta to become president. He is not president of only the 28 of us. The people of Kenya respected us and gave the former Prime Minister, such large amount of votes that he almost became president.
What's your point of order?
He's a leader for all of us. I request, Mr. Speaker.
There's a point of order. Take your seat, Senator.
Speaker, is the distinguished Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet in order to insinuate that there are only two parties in this House? There is ANC, there is WIPA, Democratic Party, there is KANU, there's CCU, there is Ford Kenya led by yours truly, and the other parties. There's even an independent. You can't insinuate that there are only two parties, Jubilee and ODM. Are you in order?
Senator Murkomen, I think...
Mr. Speaker...
Order, Senator.
Yeah.
You will have to conclude because of time. We have a very heavy agenda ahead of us.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I really beg I was just saying, I recognize Senator Moses Masika Wetangula as the bona fide party leader of Ford Kenya, Mr. Speaker. So I wanted just to go on record. And Mr. Speaker, just to say that the reason why I mentioned Jubilee and I mentioned ODM is because the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Mr. Speaker, because it is us who are given more votes, the minorities, the marginalized, the corners of this country that gave us these votes that we lead, Mr. Speaker, expect much from us. And the Bible says in Luke chapter 6, that, Mr. Speaker, if you love those who only love you, what benefit is it to you, Mr. Speaker? I know, Mr. Speaker, a whole region, a whole part of the country is suffering. We must demonstrate our love as a Senate to find a lasting solution. And I have no doubt in my mind that reason will prevail if we take off this agenda at the moment. I have seen, Mr. Speaker, as part of my conclusion, other proposed amendments by Senator Wamatangi, among others. This gives us room for us to go and find a lasting and uniting formula. And I beg my brother, Senator Sakaja, even though we have received as many threats and many problems, including headlines, I beg you, my brother, to accept this adjournment motion and be part and support it. Let's find a formula that will unite our country. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker, and request Senator Fakim, the Speaker from Mombasa, to second.
Just before that order, you know we are trying to observe the protocols. The following senators, you are sitting in the wrong places, so you go to the extended chamber. Senator Wako, Senator Kajwang. Which Wako? Which Wako? Sergeant at Arms. Which Wako? Senator Mazayo, Senator Pareno, Senator Linturi, Senator Mwaura, Senator Lelegwe, Senator Kangata, Senator Abshiro, and Senator Moi. Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuunga mkono mswada wa kuahirisha mjadala ambao ulikuwa unaendelea kuhusiana na mswada ambao umeletwa bungeni na seneta wa Nairobi, Seneta Sakaja. Mheshimiwa Spika, tayari nchi ilikuwa imegawanyika kati ya walala hai na walala hoi. Wale kaunti 19 ambazo zilikuwa zinapoteza pesa walikuwa tunajiita walala hoi, na wale 28 ambao walikuwa wanapata walikuwa wanajiita walala hai. Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ingekuwa ni kugawanya nchi yetu ya Kenya ambayo waanzilishi ama waasisi wa nchi hii walitoa damu zao, wakatoa rasilimali zao na wakatoa maisha yao wengine ili kuhakikisha kwamba tunakuwa na Kenya moja. Tunapoimba wimbo wa taifa tunasema haki iwe ngao na mlinzi. Haki hii ni ipi, Mheshimiwa Spika? Tunapozungumzia haki, je, ni sawa kaunti 19 ziweze kupoteza pesa kwa sababu tunapata nyingine 28 ambazo zinaongezewa? Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo sio haki ambayo tunaizungumzia katika wimbo wetu wa taifa kwamba haki iwe ngao na mlinzi. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, pendekezo la kuahirisha mjadala ili tutoe fursa maseneta wakae chini pamoja, tuzungumzie swala hili bila kuleta mgawanyiko katika nchi, bila kuleta mgawanyiko katika vyama, kwa sababu tunaona kwamba vyama vilikuwa na hatari ya kupasuka. Mheshimiwa Spika, chama chetu cha ODM, maseneta 7 juzi walipiga kura kupinga mswada wa Mheshimiwa Seneta Kang'ata na wengine 5 wakapiga kuunga mkono. Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ni dhahiri kwamba tayari vyama vilikuwa vinapata misukosuko, na hiyo ingesababisha kwamba tunapokwenda mbele, wakati tutakapokuwa tunajadiliana masuala ya BBI, ingekuwa nchi inayopelekwa katika njia ambayo si ya sawa. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ningempongeza Senator Murkomen ambaye alikuwa kiongozi wangu wengi hapo nyuma kwa kuja na fursa hii na mswada huu wa kuahirisha mjadala, kwa sababu inatoa fursa kwa bunge la Senate kuangalia swala hili tena kwa undani zaidi, ili kuhakikisha kwamba haki inatendeka kwa wananchi wote wa Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama maseneta, sisi kama county tumeunganika katika kiuno. Hatuwezi kusema county fulani haifai ama county fulani haina idadi kubwa ya wananchi. County zote zinategemeana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo ni lazima tunapozingatia au tunapopeleka miswada ile iweze kuzingatia nchi nzima kwa ujumla. Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati tulipozungumzia swala hili hapo nyuma wiki iliyokwisha, sote tuliona kwamba ipo haja ya sisi kama maseneta kukaa chini na kuangalia kwamba usawa unapatikana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Tusiwe na kujipiga kifua kwamba sisi ni wengi ama sisi tunapata. La, wakati unapoangalia, angalia je, maslahi ya Kenya yako mbele ama maslahi ya nyumbani kwetu ndio yako mbele. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiweka maslahi ya Kenya mbele, tutaona kwamba ipo haja ya maseneta, ipo haja ya watu kukaa chini na kuhakikisha kwamba haki inatendewa kwa Wakenya wote. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama mimi kama seneta wa Mombasa tunaunga mkono mswada wa kuahirisha mjadala huu ili tutoe fursa kwa watu kuangalia swala hili kwa makini na kuhakikisha kwamba Kenya inabakia kama Kenya na wananchi wote wanapata haki katika jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Naunga mkono mswada wa Mheshimiwa Murkomen kuahirisha mjadala. Asante.
Okay, order senators, take your seat. I now propose the question, which is that the debate be now adjourned. Senator Kimani wa Matangi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose that motion to adjourn debate on this on the order paper, Mr. Speaker, on the proposed allocation of funds to counties, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the first place, because we have to be honest, if we can first, just on the pedestal of honesty, Mr. Speaker, if any person in this country was watching the discussions and the debate on the floor of this House last week, Mr. Speaker, every motion, and especially the motion that was proposed by Senator James Orengo, the minority leader, was defeated amongst resounding pomp and song. And some of the most jubilant people about the defeat of that adjournment motion was the mover of this motion, Mr. Speaker. And so the question is, do we help this country by having been first, as admitted by the mover of the motion, having been in a gridlock that we need to resolve? Do we resolve it by further extending that gridlock, Mr. Speaker? And further to that, Mr. Speaker, we have in this order paper another 3 or 4 proposals to be able to resolve the same matter, Mr. Speaker. And I personally do not think at this point in time, when we have 4 other proposals here, even if, Mr. Speaker, with the debates that were in the past, we had problems, Mr. Speaker, the way forward is to deal with the problem that we had. If we have to dispose of that first motion, dispose of it, go to another one, Mr. Speaker. But at the end of the day, And Mr. Speaker, no one in this chamber can argue that they have not heard the cries of county governments, Mr. Speaker, because they don't even have funds to use in counties, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, the Committee on Finance, which I'm a member, had to be invited last week, Mr. Speaker, to have a discussion with the Cabinet Secretary for Finance on how to ensure that funds still go to counties, Mr. Speaker, because of what has been happening in this House. Mr. Speaker, I do not think at all it is helpful either to the country, either to the Senate, to propose to adjourn the process that we started last week, Mr. Speaker. In our sitting last week on Tuesday, Mr. Speaker, we adjourned the debate because of the curfew at 9 p.m. We sat here, we discussed, we debated. Mr. Speaker, this is a chamber of debate. Issues are resolved in the Senate by talking about those issues, by debating them, by coming up with proposals and counter-proposals, Mr. Speaker. The way forward about the current motion, Mr. Speaker, is first to defeat that motion, Mr. Speaker, proceed with the debate, let members air their views, let whoever is disagreeing with either of the proposals put their views, Mr. Speaker, on the table, and then from there we can say what is the way forward. But Mr. Speaker, if we adjourn 100 times, we will never be able to arrive to a solution. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, continuing with the debate does not mean that anyone who debates is either ignorant or, Mr. Speaker, not sensitive to the fact that we need solutions in this country. It is not right to try and depict a picture, Mr. Speaker, that by continuing with the debate that we are ignoring the fact that there are hundreds and thousands and millions of people in this country, Mr. Speaker, who require to be recognized with the interest that they have, Mr. Speaker. My own people of Kiambu expect a resolution. The people of Mandera expect a resolution, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, that we proceed with the discussion. Let us have the debate. Let us have a healthy debate. Let's have proper contributions. Let's have a resolution to this matter, Mr. Speaker, and ensure that services can proceed to be given to county governments upon a decision by the Senate. We look worse, Mr. Speaker, in my view, by being indecisive than by being decisive, Mr. Speaker. At the opportune time, Mr. Speaker, if we find then that there's a matter that requires to be resolved, Mr. Speaker, then at that time you can advise the House, Mr. Speaker, and we can vote on any other proposal for adjournment, but not adjournment because we fear to get into the discussion, Mr. Speaker. It is the wrong premise to adjourn on, Mr. Speaker. I oppose.
Senator George Haneri.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion that was moved by the Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen. Mr. Speaker, I will start by debunking what Senator Wamatangi has just put forth as his reasons for opposing the motion. Senator Wamatangi, I just want to tell you that it's only fools who don't change their minds. The fact that we oppose the adjournment that was proposed by James Orengo does not mean that we should also oppose this one. I mean, we've since changed our mind. We think that people should sit down and reason and come up with a formula that will be acceptable to all. Secondly, he says that there are 3 other proposals. That is the more reason why we must adjourn, because some of us, even up to now, I have not had a chance to look at the proposals by Senator Orengo and the other proposals, Mr. Speaker. Up to now, we've not had a chance to look at the order paper. It just came now in. Mr. Speaker, the formula proposed by the committee, if implemented, will mean counties like Vihiga should just close shop and maybe transfer their functions to the national government. In that formula, Vihiga is losing 361 million. So, Speaker, as it is, even with the 361 million, we are barely surviving. So if you take away that from us, then there will be no operations in Vihiga. So we are pleading to our colleagues to understand where we are coming from. The proposals that were being put last week by Senator Kangata were not solving our problem. Those proposals were just postponing our problem. I want to plead with my colleague, Senator Wetangula, my elder brother, my colleague Senator Wako, what enjoyment will you have if you have plenty of food on your table and your younger brother next door is starving? You can't enjoy. Senator Wako, there is no enjoyment. My brother Wetangula, you cannot enjoy that you have plenty on the table and your kid brother next door is starving. Mr. Speaker, any formula that we will come up with must ensure that no county loses what they already have. Any formula that we come up with. Kangata's proposal was to postpone. Mr. Speaker, that is still unacceptable to us.
Senator Hadiri, I think you are now getting into the debate. I think you...
Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to argue is that the proposals that are being put forth, like what Kangata was putting forth, what James Orengo here is putting forth, is just to postpone our problem. So we want to adjournment so that we can sit down, where Senator Wetangula had proposed this in our Kamkunji, so that we can sit down and see if we can come up with a formula that will be acceptable to all of us. That's the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kinyua? Oh, are you through? Senator Haneri, are you through?
Yeah, it's okay, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to say that we must ensure equity. I want to plead with my colleagues that we support this motion. And this time round, if we go for negotiations, let's be reasonable. Let's leave our hardline stance so that we can come up with a formula that is acceptable to all. I thank you, Speaker.
Senator Sakaja, what is your point of intervention?
Thank you very much.
I encourage you to wear your mask.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I have a problem. She's not 1.5 meters close to me, but if I use it when speaking, I actually have a breathing issue, Mr. Speaker. But I am careful not to spit. Mr. Speaker, my point of order is as follows. You had given direction, Mr. Speaker, on the manner in which amendments are processed, Mr. Speaker. And you said that the amendments to this very important and technical motion must, number one, all go through budget office, and their constitutionality be tested, and the veracity of the figures also be proven, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the system has just come up. And going through some of the amendments, Mr. Speaker, we need you to affirm that indeed they went through that process. Because I can give you one example of an amendment by Senator Wamatangi, providing that Treasury to provide additional funds equal to the losses. Mr. Speaker, this would not pass any constitutional test. So I'm asking that you rule on constitutionality. I'm not debating. Senator Wetangula, I'm not debating.
No, that's not...
I'm not debating. So, Mr. Speaker, I want you to affirm. Mr. Speaker, you gave a ruling that each and every amendment shall go through a certain procedure. I just want you to confirm, Mr. Speaker, because we'll get to that.
Senator Bogisho?
I want you to confirm. I'm on a point of order, Mr. Speaker. Someone cannot rise on a point of order when you're on a point of order. You've been in this house for long, even before I was born.
Okay.
So you know, you don't raise a point of order. Mr. Speaker, just affirm that it went through that process. Just that. Because on the face of it, there's a test of constitutionality that is completely off, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sakaja, the matter came to my office. I approved it. It was even approved by House Business Committee, where you sit. So it came through the right process. Order, Senator Sakaja. Order. There's a point of order from Senator Cheriot.
Mr. Speaker, Senator Sakaja's point of order is not without validity. We agree that the House Business Committee may have looked at it. You approved. There's only one other check that he needs your confirmation, and that will be it. Parliamentary Budget Office. Just that, Mr. Speaker, kindly.
What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
Mr. Speaker, the point of order by the Senator for Nairobi may be valid, but coming at the wrong time. The question before the House is whether we adjourn the debate or not. If indeed he has a point, then at the time those amendments are raised, then it will be legitimately correct to stand and raise the issues he's raising, and the House or the Speaker may decide on what to do. As it is now, do we adjourn or we don't adjourn? That is the question before the House. Not the merit or validity or constitutionality of any matter on the order paper.
Yeah, I think that's a correct position. And I can see a lot of interest, but I want to make this ruling, honorable senators. You know that we have to make a decision and we have a weight matters ahead of us. The way to dispose of this matter now is, of course, to vote. The normal way, we vote, a roll call. Pardon? Pardon? I have made that ruling because we must really make progress. Yes, Senator Kindiki.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for that ruling. I want to plead with you to guide us further by reconsidering your own ruling, Mr. Speaker, because this is the most important issue in this country at the moment. And if we are discussing whether or not to adjourn, assuming Senator Murkomen's point of order carries the day, there are consequences. Likewise, even if the motion by Senator Murkomen doesn't carry the day, there are also serious implications. I beg you, Mr. Speaker, to allow a few more senators to ventilate so that if whatever decision is taken, the people of this country can be with the House in that decision, Mr. Speaker.
You know, honorable senators, the whole country is watching us and has been watching us for this is the 7th time. We are just moving forth and backwards. Really, we are going to look ridiculous. We must move forward. We must move forward, honorable senators, because the issues that are being raised now, you know, last time it was, somebody was saying something different, today saying something completely different from what they said, although with a lot of respect to my brother, Senator Khaniri. So I want us to take a vote so that we are able to determine whether we are making progress, whether we're moving forward or not. Because the arguments, people are getting into the substance of the debate, so that we are able, so I direct that the bell be rung for 1 minute.
If you're just tuning in, this is the live proceeding of the Senate, where the approval of the third basis for revenue allocation among county government is currently being discussed. But before the senators got to the gist of the issues pertaining to this particular report by the Finance and Budget Committee of the Senate, the Senator for Elgeyo Marakwet, Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, moved that the House adjourns debate on this motion to pave way for dialogue with the hope of striking a consensus. That particular motion will be voted on as soon as the quorum bell stops ringing. The Senate Speaker, Kenneth Makelo Lusaka, the Honorable, ordered the bell to be rung for a minute. The senators will vote on that proposal by Elgeyo Marakwet Senator. This is the 7th time the senators are discussing the third basis for revenue allocation among the county government.
Leaders, give us a tell us, huh? Okay, order, senators. We are in session. Observe social distancing. Who? Okay, that is for? Yes. Who? Be there, teller there. Okay, we are in session, ladies and gentlemen. Senators. Take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seats, senators. Okay, order. Order, we are starting. No. It's everyone. Okay, we are starting. Clerk, take your seats. Take your seats. No, everyone. It's all senators. Start.
Senator Adan Dulo Fatuma.
I vote yes.
Senator Ali Abdullah Ibrahim.
I vote yes.
Okay.
Senator Boy Isa Juma.
I vote yes.
Senator Chebeni Masi. Senator Cherarkei Samson Kiprotich.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkurui.
Senator Cheriot.
Senator Chebeni Masi.
I vote no.
Senator Gona.
I vote yes for the amendment. Adjournment.
Senator Gona Christine Zawadi. Senator Haji Farhia Ali.
I vote yes.
Senator Haji Mohammed Yusuf. Senator Halake Abshiro Soka.
I vote yes.
Senator Hargura Godana.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Iman Falhada Deko.
I vote a big yes.
Senator Imana Malakai. Senator Inima Gertrude Musurube.
I vote no.
Senator Kabaka Boniface Mutinda.
Of course, yes, for this adjournment.
Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno. Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno. Senator Imana Malachi Charles.
I vote yes for the adjournment.
Senator Kamar Margaret.
I vote no.
Senator Kangata Irungu.
I vote no.
Senator Kasanga Sylvia.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Khaniri George.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes for adjournment.
Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno.
I vote no.
Senator Kibiru Charles.
I vote no.
Senator Kihika Susan.
Social distancing,
Wakarura.
please. Social distancing, please. Social distancing.
I vote no.
Senator Kilonzo Mutula Jr.
I vote yes.
Senator Kimani Wamatangi Paul. Senator Kindiki Kidure.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim.
I vote no.
Okay. If possible, vote from your station where you are, where you are sitting, so that we don't overuse of one mic. Okay?
Yes.
Senator Kimani Wamatangi.
I vote no, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Langat Christopher.
Why don't you use? Yeah.
I vote no.
Senator Lelegwe Tumbesi.
I vote yes.
Senator Linturi Franklin Midika.
I vote yes for the adjournment.
Yeah, if you are near a mic, just use the mic that is near to you when you are called. Let's observe social distancing, please. Social distance.
Senator Loitip Anwar. Senator Locorio Petronila.
Vote no. No.
I vote yes.
Senator Madzayo Stewart.
The delegation of Kilifi votes yes.
Senator Mahmoud Mohammed.
I vote yes.
Senator Makori Beatrice Kwamboka.
I vote no.
Senator Malala Cleophas.
I vote yes.
Senator Masitsa Naomi Shinyonga.
Speaker, I vote a big no.
Senator Mbito Michael Malinga.
I vote no.
Senator Mbogo George Ochilo.
You can use the mics that are next to you.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Milgo Alice Chepkorir.
I vote no.
Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, Senior Counsel Okongo Omogeni, with peace of mind, I vote yes.
Senator Moi Gideon.
No.
Senator Mpaye Philip Silao. Senator Mugo Beth Wamboi. Senator Murkomen Onesmus Kipchumba.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Mwangi Paul Gidiomi.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote no. No.
Senator Mwaruma Jones Mwashushe.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Mwaura Isaac.
Mheshimiwa Spika, napiga la.
Senator Mwenye Haji Mohamed Faki.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote yes.
Senator Nderitu John Kinywa.
Mr. Speaker, the delegation of Laikipia votes no.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njeru.
Mr. Speaker, Embu votes no.
Senator Nyamunga Ross.
Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Olekina Ledama.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote yes.
Senator Omanga Millicent.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes for adjournment.
Senator Ongeri Samson.
I vote no.
Senator Orengo James.
Mr. Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Outa Frederick Otieno.
Kisumu delegates vote no.
Senator Pareno Judith.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Pogisho Samuel.
Speaker, I vote no.
Senator Prengei Victor. Senator Sakaja Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes. Oh, you didn't hear, Mr. Speaker? Yes. To give that opportunity of wisdom, I vote yes.
Senator Mary.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Wago Naomi. Senator Wago Naomi.
I vote yes.
Senator Wako Siswila Amos.
Senator Wako, you're supposed to vote.
It's of course yes. Senior counsel.
Observe social distancing. Senators.
On this particular issue, I want to record an abstention.
Senator Wambua Enoch Kio.
Mr. Speaker, to give senators an opportunity to unite this country, I vote yes.
Senator Wario Golich Juma.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I vote yes.
Senator Wetangula Moses.
Mr. Speaker, I vote yes.
Senator Zani Agnes.
I vote yes.
Okay, order, take your seats. If there's any senator who has not voted, take your seats. Senators, take your seats and sit in the right place, please. Please, please. The mic. Somebody do, my mic is on.
You are watching live proceedings of the Senate. The senators have finished voting. On a proposal by the Elgeyo Marakwet senator to adjourn debate on the third basis for revenue allocation among the county governments. The results of that particular vote will be announced shortly by the Speaker of the Senate.
It's permanently on. Okay, order, senators. Take your seat. I can see somebody on his feet when I'm on my feet. Okay, honorable senators, these are the results of the vote. Abstentions, 1. Nays, 26. Ayes, 34. The ayes have it. Senator Wetangula. What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
Thank Mr. Speaker, in a book written by a great Tanzanian writer called Shaban bin Robert, the book is called Kusadikika. Shaban Robert says, mara mingi, and I'm quoting in Kiswahili because it's written in Swahili, mara mingi inji huficha mashujaa wake mpaka janga kuu litokee. Janga kuu limetokea. The country is sitting on edge, Mr. Speaker. All eyes are on this Senate. I want to urge you, sir, that having gotten this window, which was my idea in the first place when we had a Kamkunji out here, and we came here with Senator Orengo, we moved this motion, and the House rejected it, as it has the right to do. Now that we have retraced our steps, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge members that under Article 96 of the Constitution, every senator in this House represents all the 47 counties. That's what Article 96 envisages. We represent all the 47 counties. And I want to urge the leadership, the distinguished senator for West Pokot, the distinguished senator for Siaya, your office, Mr. Speaker, and all of us, that now we don't have the luxury of time. We must give the country a direction. Let's not make the country start rethinking the importance of this House. From the petitions that come to this House, Mr. Speaker, you can conclude without any fear of contradiction whatsoever, howsoever, that Kenyans believe in this House. They bring here each and every problem of whatever nature for the House to deal with. I want to urge you, Mr. Speaker, that now that is obvious, we are adjourning because the motion by the distinguished senator for Elgeyo Marakwet has been carried. We don't waste time. We look for a venue, sit as the House, and from the last meeting you took us to Bomas, Mr. Speaker, the new extension looked like even with social distancing and the fear of corona, we can still transact our business, or erect a dome at Nyayo Stadium and lock away everybody, and give these senators an opportunity, Mr. Speaker, with the constitutional body, CRA, the way we did in the last parliament, And those who are here, Senator Cheriot, Senator Orengo, Senator Khaniri, Senator Murkomen, can bear me, Senator Omatangi. We went to Nakuru, Mr. Speaker, Naivasha, at Enashipai. And we came back here and voted as 47 delegations voting yes. And Kenyans were the winner. In a majoritarian situation, Mr. Speaker, the winner takes it all. But is it the way we want to go for this country? Because, Mr. Speaker, we must understand that a pain to one Kenyan is a pain to all Kenyans. And if we take that attitude, Mr. Speaker, my county where you and I come from, Mr. Speaker, was gaining 928 million. But we are ready to let go, to sit with other Kenyans and say, we are ready to lose a little of that money for Wajir to gain a bit of what they have lost. So that we have some degree of equity. And Mr. Speaker, as I finish, one idea that this Senate is blind to. We are fighting over 316 billion in a budget of 3 trillion. Where do the other trillions go? Because if the other trillions were evenly spread and equitably developing the country, this protraction will not be there. But this is Kenya. This is our country. We know our failings. We hope we'll change. And I want to urge, Mr. Speaker, that you hit the ground running. If it means tomorrow you retreat us to solve this problem, let it be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator James Orengo.
Mr. Speaker, the House has spoken through the vote you have just taken. And Mr. Speaker, you know, I had moved a similar motion and seconded by the senator from Bungoma, Senator Wetangula, and it was negatived. I'm glad that we have another opportunity to move a similar motion, but in contributing to the situation that has arisen, Mr. Speaker, if you read the Constitution on the chapter dealing with public finance and the chapter dealing with devolution, the emphasis is on the word equity throughout. But if you look at the chapter dealing with the Bill of Rights, it talks about equality. Whereas equality...
Social distancing, please, Kangata.
Mr. Speaker, dealing with equality is much easier than dealing with equity. And I think there are two fundamental principles contained in our Constitution. And when it comes to public finance and the allocation of resources, we are dealing with a concept of equity. And Mr. Speaker, that's why, in fact, the last time when I was moving on a point of order to defer debate, my point was that taking a vote on the question of resources is always a very difficult question. But it is better for us to talk and achieve consensus. I emphasized the word consensus the last time, rather than a situation where we are creating gainers and losers. In fact, Mr. Speaker, the simulation of the formulas, I think the original sin was when it was coming out that there were losers and gainers. In a free, democratic country where everybody is equal before the law, we should never be talking about losers and gainers. And finally, Mr. Speaker, in dealing with this very difficult subject about equity, equity is about needs. dealing with needs of communities, of individuals, and of areas of the country which probably are almost impenetrable because they don't lie at the center of the country. So I take this as a positive development, Mr. Speaker. I take it very positively and urge the House, and I would suggest that we meet, if possible, this week. Under the leadership and your guidance, we meet this week and report back Tuesday, next week. The reason why I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker, is because the consideration of the county allocation of revenue bill, understanding order number 182, is time-bound. And this particular matter, which is before the House, is also time-bound. Therefore, urge you that we do consultations in such a way that we'll be able to come back here on Tuesday to consider this same issue. And I hope on Tuesday next week, we will be unanimous in our decision, one way or the other. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of Majority, Senator Bogisho. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, on strategizing to keep this motion going on, Speaker, I must give credit to the young people who have brought this amendment, this motion. Speaker, it is good to know what a week in time can do. Where, Mr. Speaker, last week, same time, Senator Rengo and Senator Wetangula stood here to say the same thing that was said. I must congratulate Senator Murkomen for being able to change his mind and come over to this other side. Speaker, when we think about the motion on resources, what we have done today is to leave everything as is, which means we require to come back and proceed from where we left things. And so on an appointed day, Speaker, on the day that we appoint, we come back to the motion as it is, we come back to the amendments on order paper, and we make a decision again. So these consultations, Speaker, are around the same things. And so if we do postpone and extend the time to discuss, there must be therefore an orderly way, Speaker, of arriving at these things. I'm not so sure that the whole House at once needs to meet. I think, Mr. Speaker, that we need probably to start in small groups and proceed on to the entire House. But eventually, Mr. Speaker, we need to have the entire thing sorted out. We need to start afresh. And so we are simply buying time. And buying time, Mr. Speaker, depends now on your negotiation skills, depends on the will of the people. But, Mr. Speaker, because the House has spoken, the House wants to put this matter back on the order paper when we come back. We would want to, therefore, begin to say, Speaker, that leadership, as has been said, plus the membership of this Senate, reconsider the matters which we have done for so long. We've done this work for so long, Mr. Speaker, we know it like the back of our hand. We know the issues, we know exactly what we want, but we never seem to agree. And so, Mr. Speaker, I just want us to agree that this time, with the moments given, this short time given to us, I hope, Mr. Speaker, that we don't come back to ask again Kenyans for another postponement. We have had these moments before. And, Mr. Speaker, that's why we wanted to move ahead today and just deal with the matters as they are. But because the House is supreme, we have agreed, Mr. Speaker, that we just come back. We are still the same people, but I hope this time, Mr. Speaker, we allow all 47 counties to be considered for what they are due, what their dues are. To be allowed, Mr. Speaker, to stop the bleeding, but allow also growth in those counties which have not been growing. I hope those kind of things we can reach a consensus on. So, Mr. Speaker, I do therefore just support and ask my colleagues that we move ahead with speed and bring this matter to a close. We are in agreement. Thank you.
Okay, Senator Mutula, you know you are discussing already a matter that a vote has already been taken. Okay. Okay, 3 minutes, please, so that we... Senator Mutula, okay, you are here. I've listed.
Mr. Speaker, thank you.
And Senator Kidure.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. One, I was beginning to worry about the Senate, and because this Senate has got members. Mr. Speaker, this Senate has had the privilege of having members, including Wetangula, Senator Orengo, Senator Ongeri, and I can't remember who else, who sat in the National Accord Committee. This is a house of wisdom. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, my plea to the senators, personally, is that there are people who have been making very virulent statements against one another. Let's take this opportunity, and I'm talking to Senator Cherargei. I'm pleading with you to turn to the Lord. I'm pleading with you not to cast aspersions on anybody. I'm pleading with you to ask for prayers, because you are my junior, but you are my chairman. Do not cast aspersions and don't call people bushes. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, yesterday we had a meeting. Speaker, you were present. And in that meeting, we agreed on a framework for counties getting the balance of their payments, which is 29 billion. I was a little disappointed, Mr. Speaker, and I must say it on the floor, that we appeared disjointed as a Senate on counties getting funds as we continue to discuss this matter. While the Supreme Court has already pronounced itself that counties can get resources in the advisory opinion number 3 of 2019, Mr. Speaker, while we are negotiating, I urge you, Mr. Speaker, to get the leadership to agree, even if all of us have to sign, that we concur with the advisory opinion on the Supreme Court, that meanwhile, counties must get their resources, which is up to 50%, as the advisory opinion, which is a judgment of the Supreme Court. Mr. Speaker, I urge Senator Fogisio to sit on his seat as a majority leader and lead us, together with Senator Orengo. We have faith in all you people. My former chairman of WIPA, please lead the troops, because the division that we have seen in this House is in violation of Article 96.3. We must fight the outsiders. And those who are warning senators, we warn them that if you come for our senators, we will come for you too. Thank you.
I'll just allow 2 minutes. Senator Kindeke Kindure, then I'll come. Yeah, it's been queuing, then I'm coming. I'll give you 2 minutes so that we...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want to make it clear that it is not true that there will be a crisis in the counties, because they will be able to access 50% of what is due to them based on last year's figures. So we want to tell the media not to promote a narrative that counties will be in a crisis of funds. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, we had begun on a wrong footing where counties were pitted against each other, like the legendary story of Gog and Magog. And Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that this battle has now come to an end, and we are now 47 counties under the territory of Kenya negotiating for good funding of all our 47 counties from the national government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me say the very bad terms that have been used in this debate must come to an end. Each and every county is unique and has its own different contribution to this country's progress. Mr. Speaker, as I said last time, the counties that are populous and the counties that are less populous must be seen as 2 feet walking our nation to progress and unity. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, the foot that is ahead must not feel proud or should not be proud. The foot that is behind should not feel ashamed because they know they keep on exchanging positions until they arrive at their destination, Mr. Speaker. I support the decision that has been taken.
Senator Ledama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm happy that we have this opportunity to be able to go and reason. Mr. Speaker, sir, when I stand here, I know some of my colleagues, like Senator Sakaja, is being harassed, threatened. You know, it is absolutely ludicrous that in this country now, we cannot stand as a Senate and stamp our authority. I'm so proud of the 36 men and women who stood up for Kenya, and that is what we are going to do, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, since we have adjourned now, this time, I would like to plead that we all look at all the amendments which are in that order list. We have amendments from Senator Orengo, which in my view is an attempt to rewrite Article 2 or 3 of the Constitution. We have an amendment from Senator Wamatangi. There are other amendments from myself and others. I think the only way we can make progress, if we all sit down, discuss, so that we can figure out how we can be able to move forward, like my colleagues were saying. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, what I'd like to request, everyone out there, give us an opportunity to unite this country. Those threats which are being
There is a point
sent.
of order. There's a point of order.
Speaker, let me just bring to your attention, Speaker, that for the second time in a very short while, in a short speech that Honorable Ledama has said, he has claimed, Mr. Speaker, that certain members have been threatened. And Mr. Speaker, this is a House. It is only easy, Mr. Speaker, to substantiate instead of just making unsubstantiated claims, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, it's important, Senator Ledama, that is that a point of order? Of course, your point of order, Senator Madzayo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, ni sawa kama seneta yoyote akiongea kuhusika na matishio ya seneta mwenzake, kama hiyo itakuwa ni makosa ama itakuwa si kulingishana na ule mjadala ulioko katika Senate. Je, ni haki kwa kiongozi wa walio wengi kuuliza swali kama hilo ambalo ni sawa kabisa?
No, aliuliza, he said, since Senator Ledama had claimed that some senators have been threatened, it's only proper that he substantiates, because it's a grave matter that he's raising, if it's true.
Tunajua ni nani ambaye anashtumiwa kwa kitu kama hicho. Asante Bwana Spika.
Yes, substantiate. What's your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order to claim by Senator Ledama that there are some members are being threatened without substantiating and telling us by who? Secondly, it is the same senator who was tweeting today and casting aspersion on the same house that some senators have been paid 5 million. He is the same person who wrote in his official Twitter handle by saying some senators have been paid 5 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. So is he casting aspersion on the same members that is accusing some agencies of threatening them?
What's your point of order, Senator Wetangula?
Mr. Speaker, I want to plead with the senators. We are dealing with a grave matter. Let's not be diversionary. Because by being diversionary, we're playing in the hands of those who don't want this Senate to do its job and succeed. Let's focus on what we are here to do. Keep your eyes on the ball and don't be distracted.
Madam Speaker, as you prepare to take your seat, thank you, Madam Speaker. As you prepare to take your seat, Madam Speaker, I want to be very categorical that we do not live in oblivious. We know what is happening in this country. Madam Speaker, some of us wake up at 3 in the morning and we read news. We see what is being portrayed out there. I was very shocked when I saw a big banner on a highway which is targeting my colleague, Senator Sakaja. These are things which are out there. I know the majority leader has asked me to substantiate, and I shall. When I came into this house, I met the distinguished senator in his office. Very few people know that he must have spent part of his night in this bunge so that he can be able to be safe. You know, this country, let me just be very clear. We are all mortal beings, and no one will live forever. What we are doing here is the duty. We were elected to come here and defend our people. So when I stand here and I defend my colleague, I care about the people of Nairobi who he represents. So, Madam Speaker, I will not even respond to the statement by Senator Gerald Gay because it was not, I did not make that statement in this House. You can ask me from another platform and I shall do it. So what I'm saying, for me to sit down, Madam Speaker, is that when now we have adjourned, let us unite this country, let us not divide it, because when we divide, we'll go down in history as a house which was controlled by a remote control outside. We are elected. And there should be a difference between an elected leader and somebody who is appointed out there to call the shots. I'll be very happy, Madam Speaker, if this country
Honorable Senator, you are confusing the system. We don't know whether you are on a point of order or you were contributing to adjournment or what was it, because we need to agree on a way forward.
Madam Speaker, I actually do not blame you because you just walked in. Your brother, the Speaker, had given me an opportunity to comment on his...
Were you to substantiate on something?
And then, during the comment, I made statements which I was required to substantiate, and that's what I've been doing.
Thank you.
So, Madam Speaker, as I conclude, so that I can sit, so that it is clear on the Hansard, my comments are as follows. Let us take this opportunity to look at the amendments. Let us try. And if we do not have facts, there are so many institutions in this country that we can seek guidance from. Kenya Bureau of Statistics, to help us so that we can unite this country and not further divide it. I support.
Thank you. What's your point of order, Senator Sakaja?
Madam Speaker, Senator Cherargei is really surprising me. When your colleague stands and talks about...
Are you standing on a point of order?
Yes, that's what you've given
Stand
me.
back, reverence, instead of telling us how surprised you are.
Madam Speaker, why don't you listen to the entire remark I'm making?
Of course we listen, Senator Sakaja. You don't tell us to listen, we listen, we know you. What we are saying is, can you point out the point of order, the standing order you are standing on?
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
I don't know what the matter is. Just allow me to make my point of order.
A
point of order has been raised, Madam Speaker, on which Senator Ledama has been asked to substantiate claims about threats to me.
So which one are you referring to yourself?
Yes, I'm referring to that, Madam Speaker. I can show you the standing order.
Yes.
Because, Madam Speaker, everybody who stands on a standing order, you have not asked them to give you the number itself.
It
is just you're starting from now.
from now so that we move in another manner.
Madam Speaker, the standing order provides that every member shall be responsible for a statement of fact. That's standing order 67.
Thank you, that's good.
And I know the standing orders.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, I want to say the following.
Yeah.
First of all, it's unfortunate for colleagues. If he makes such a grave, allegation on a member, one of you, it becomes a laughing matter. Madam Speaker, I put it in public record. On Friday, I was being trailed by police officers, DCI, KBZ 317W. And I saw them, and they left. I raised it with the Inspector General of Police. He did not respond. Madam Speaker, yesterday, and let me not even talk about the other incident. Yesterday, there were reports of my impending arrest, so that I'm not here today. Madam Speaker, I heard that members in this House know. Some of you know it. Some of you are discussing it. Madam Speaker, I didn't even stay at my own home. I was in this Senate at 5:30 a.m. today. I sat in my car in the basement until midday. That is not a laughing matter, Senator Cherege. Madam Speaker, everybody here knows the kind of vitriol. Let me finish, Madam Speaker, because it's very, very hurting.
Yeah,
I'm
only having one problem, Senator Sakaja. I wish you came with a statement.
Let me finish. I will bring a statement.
Yes.
Just allow me to finish, Madam Speaker. If it happened to you, you'd be allowed to say it.
I'm saying, while I'm going to allow you to conclude, I'm telling you that you had a very nice opportunity to make a very nice statement.
Madam Speaker, when your life is threatened, you don't think of standing orders. You don't sit and plan.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, this is not a small matter.
Okay.
They was taking out of my house yesterday, the day before yesterday, I saw them. But Madam Speaker, the reason I didn't speak about it is because I knew the objective, and some of you who are strategizing might know, was for me not to come to the House. The person who votes after me in my delegation was told not to come, so that the vote will go on or another. Let me not speculate on that. Now that I have come and I've voted, those who want to arrest me, please go ahead, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you have seen the vitriol. You have seen those banners being put up there. For me to change my position, I am not one to be intimidated. I'm the son of Emily Ayoti Kubasu, a champion. I will not be intimidated. I stand for one Kenya. And finally, Madam Speaker, finally, because we've had people saying, oh, we'll expel you from the party, we will do this, I am persuading Senator Pogisho, the leader of majority, who I respect a lot, and the whip, Senator Kangata. You're the leaders. A party position is not an individual's opinion. A party position is not even your opinion. A party position is when you call your members, you caucus, you discuss an issue, you agree to disagree, but that agreement that is reached is binding. I've been a chairman of a party, I know that's what a party position is. But for those who think even you can do 10 more hashtags, it is okay. In fact, yesterday I helped them tweet them. You can even, now you can send, because you're not voting, it's okay. I was born in this town in Ngara, I'm used to this life. I can stay in cells, but I will stand for one Kenya. And the party position that I know, of Jubilee, is the position of one Kenya indivisible. I stand for that, Madam Speaker. So I'm glad, Madam Speaker, that now we have an opportunity. We have an opportunity, Madam Speaker, to look at the proposals which I had brought. The proposal which I've heard Senator Midika talking about, Senator Omatangi, we can harmonize, but this country will move forward together. But those threats, Madam Speaker, they mean nothing, and I'm ready for whatever consequence it is for the price of this country. People have lost more. They've lost lives, not just party positions, Madam Speaker.
Okay, thank you. I see Senator Zani is here on a point of order also. Senator Sakaja, I was saying you lost an opportunity to do your statement and members would have been able to talk on it, but not now. So we'll not go that direction because we need to agree on a way forward for the decision that we have made. So you'll do that later. Okay, Senator Zani. No, I was just telling you as a matter of fact that if it was a statement, then other members would have made reference to it, but we don't want to direct ourselves in the wrong direction without a motion on the floor. No, can we have Senator Zani? Senator Zani is already on a point of order. Or as a contribution?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker.
So then the point of order is from Kangata. Matsayo, you are also on a point of order?
Could I proceed, Madam Speaker? Because I'd explained to Senator Lusaka.
You are the next one for contribution.
Thank you.
You are the next one for contribution.
Thank you.
So allow 2 points of order from Kangata and Matsayo.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I rise on a standing order that the standing order which prohibits or give a procedure on how a member can bring an issue that is affecting me personally. Madam Speaker, I strongly believe that what my colleague from Nairobi has said ought to have been brought procedurally through a formal statement. Madam Speaker, notwithstanding that, I want to confirm that indeed security of each and every senator in this republic should be protected by the Republic of Kenya. Indeed, my brother from Nairobi, you are entitled to security, and the government does not at all support actions that may be geared to threaten your personal security. However, we must also allow Kenya to thrive democratically. It is the democratic right of the people of Nairobi to express themselves in whichever manner they would want to. And I think as a Democrat, I strongly believe you are going to support that kind of endeavor. Whenever Kenyans, whether through WhatsApp, hashtag, it is their democratic right. Madam Speaker, on that score also, I urge my colleague also to remember we had a parliamentary group of Jubilee Party where we called each and every person. Several members of Jubilee Party, including several who don't support the position of the party, attended. I want to remind Dr. Ali attended. He opposed the party position. Deputy Majority Leader attended. Dulo. You did not attend that meeting. You refused to attend the parliamentary group meeting. Yeah, it's a fact. So therefore, do not come to mislead the House. Do not come to mislead the House.
Order, Senator Kangata. Senator Kangata, you don't misuse points of order, please. And that's why I'm saying I'll be watching the points of orders. Now, Senator Mazayo on a point of order, and then Leader of Majority, and that's it, so that we make a conclusion.
Asante, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, umuhimu wa bunge la Senate ni kwamba mmoja wetu akishasema ya kwamba maisha yake yako katika hatarini, kwamba anaweza kupoteza maisha kwa sababu ya vile anavyofanya kazi ndani ya bunge, kunao umuhimu wa kwamba bunge la Senate liko na haki ya kuweza kujadiliana ama kuongea kuhusikana na matisho kama hayo. Saa 8:30 tukiingia hapa, kunao ukweli kabisa askari walikuwa wamejaa hapa nje, wanaanza kuangalia watu, na hili bunge hairuhusiwi. Hata mtu kama ndugu yetu Malala pia na yeye tishio kama hilo limempatia. Tutaendelea kwa miaka mingapi? Manake katika historia ya bunge la Kenya tunajua ya kwamba ukishakisiwa kwamba wewe ni mtu unapinga kitu unasimama na msimamo fulani, unaweza kupatikana katika chaka la Ngong Forest. Wengi wamewahi wabunge ambao wamekuwa wamekamilika wakakamavu kwa siasa, wamepoteza maisha yao ndani ya kichaka kile cha kule Ngong Forest. Hatutaki kuona msemo kama huo ukisemwa ama ukitokea hivi sasa. Sakaja ni kijana mdogo sana, ako na familia yake bado iko ndogo. Sitaki kuamka kesho asubuhi nisome kwamba Sakaja amepoteza maisha yake huko Ngong Forest. We still need him. Tunamhitaji hapa Nairobi. Na ni kijana amejitolea, nishasema hiyo. Ni kijana amejitolea, mhanga, kufa kupona, kuona ya kwamba Kenya iko nchi moja. Na sote sisi tuko hapa kwa sababu ya mgavi wa pesa zinazokwenda katika serikali za mashinani. Uongozi wa upande ule wa walio wengi ukiongozwa na ndugu yangu Pogisho, ni ukweli kabisa kwamba umefeli mtihani. Hauwezi hiyo kazi. Na si kwamba ati tunasema kitu ambacho hakiko sawa sawa, kiko sawa, Mr. Speaker. Na ninashukuru kwa kumpatia nafasi hii. Kangata hawezi kuconvince hata senator mmoja kwa ile upande wake wa walio wengi kurudi pande kwenda pande yote. Hawezi. Kwa hiyo kuna umuhimu wa kwamba tuwe kitu kimoja ili tuone Kenya imebaki kama nchi moja. Asante, Mr. Speaker.
Senators, I think we should be very clear that we cannot impute improper motive on our members, on each other, unless we have substantive motions. I do not want us to debate the statement that Sakaja is going to bring, because I gave him the offer that he really needs to bring a motion so that colleagues can add or minus what he has said. But I want the last point of order from Gerard Gay. I'm going to rule on the issue of contributions because there is something that is technical about the contributions you are talking about. Gerard Gay?
No, Madam Speaker, I heard Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. saying that I should turn to the Lord. I want to confirm to them that I have received Jesus Christ as my personal shepherd. Number two, there is nowhere. Personally, I have been arrested before. I have been intimidated. I have 2 court cases. And I sympathize and empathize with Senator Sakaja. And I hope the agencies that are necessary should be able to address the concern of the one member. Finally, Madam Speaker, what I can say is that it is very unfortunate that today as a Senate we have failed for the 7th time to be able to move forward as a country. Madam Speaker, this is unfortunate. Members, where we come from, we were not elected to come and not to make decisions. I can assure you, Madam Speaker, when we come back, we'll have 47 formulas before this House. I can assure you we will not be able to make any progress. It is so sad and it's unfortunate for the country, Madam Speaker. We have been having these caucuses for the last time possible. And I want to confirm the words of Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. and his company. The other day, they say, if you want to kill us now. Why change the tune now? And yet we had given you an offer through Senator Kangata's amendment last time, Madam Speaker. And therefore, it is very unfortunate that as a Senate, we have failed to make progress. We have failed in our constitutional obligation as provided for under Article 217. Madam Speaker, we were ready to put this matter to rest. And the more we procrastinate as a Senate, it is a bad picture before the public, Madam Speaker. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I'm very disappointed. I have expected the Senate to rise beyond this. And finally, Madam Speaker, many people have argued that it will divide the country. There are many decisions we have made here before. We kicked out Senator Kithure Kindiki. Is Tarakanite divided or the country divided? No. Let us stop this hawkwash we are selling to the public. It is unfortunate that we were never able to proceed. But on the issue of Senator Sakaja, Madam Speaker, let your office take it matter seriously. And I want to urge those people who are trailing to Senator Sakaja that they should just lobby him. He's a good man. They know where to find him. Before curfew hours, they can be able to see him and discuss him and be able to support us. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Bokisho? He is not contributing on this matter. I think he had a point of order.
Madam Speaker, I really
on a point of order.
It's a point of order. Madam Speaker, when we...
Honorable Senators, when you have one person on a point of order, yeah, we allow that person to prosecute, then we'll come to you.
Madam Speaker, you know the motion to adjourn was adjourned. I mean, we adjourned.
Yeah.
And then using standing orders, we have reopened debate. This matter was already resolved. Mr. Speaker, debate has been suspended. So I just wanted the Speaker to bring to your attention that we need to make progress other than continuing to reopen debate, which has already been closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Majority. Zani, what was it, a point of order or?
You know, when we did put the motion to adjourn, yes, we did put a motion to adjourn, and I think what we're trying to do is just to make sure that during the period when we are adjourning, certain things happen the way we expect them to. What?
I'll come to you. Yes, finish? Yeah. Sakaja, we have given you 3 times points of order. Allow other members. Senator Sakaja?
Madam Speaker, when I rose on a point of order, you told me that I have to show the standing order I'm rising on.
Yes.
And I told you don't do that to anybody else. Everyone subsequent, including the Leader of Majority, including now Senator Zani and everybody else, you forget your new rule. Madam Speaker, please be fair.
I'll stick to
Please be fair.
I'll stick to my new rule. Thank you.
Please be fair, Madam Speaker.
Senator Zani. I think Senator Zandi is also on a point of order. Can you,
No.
can you respect?
Let me finish my bit. Let me finish my.
Can you respect
Let me
her,
finish
please?
my bit. I'm going to keep it very brief. Clearly, from what we are saying, the need to caucus is very, very key. Probably wouldn't have been in this situation if we had caucused more at different levels. So I think even as we adjourn, it's important for us to do that. The second thing, Madam Speaker, that I wanted to speak about is the confusion about the formulas that are out there. The first basis, the second basis formula, moving to the third, which is from CRA, and then the other last one, which is from the committee. In the discussions, and the media has picked this, I think, the wrong way. They keep discussing the CRA formula. That's not what was on the table in the Senate. What was on the table on this Senate was actually the committee recommendation. So I'm hoping, Madam Speaker, that even as we go out, we're able to address this as senators of various counties. We stand under Article 96 to be senators and taking care of the interests of all counties. Madam Speaker, even when we look at the particular formulas and what is happening with the various counties, this has been discussed. Even as we continue to caucus, let us get a position where counties are able to manage. Because, Madam Speaker, from the sort of losses that counties are making, among these Kwale County, Mombasa County, Garissa County, some of these counties will not be able to operate. So, Madam Speaker, I think even as we move into the adjournment, let us keep this at the forefront of our minds and be able to execute. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, please take your seats. Mutula, take your seat. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, are you coming in or going out? Can you leave so that we can continue? Please don't do kienyeji. Murgomen. Yeah. Honorable Senators, I think we had agreed that we are going to adjourn, and this had been already moved and supported, so we are going to adjourn. The only direction I can give on that one is that the leadership at the rise of the House should go and consult and choose days for consultations so that we come back. As was raised by Senator Orengo, we want this to latest Tuesday. But should the leadership decide that we come back on Friday for a sitting, we will all be very happy. So I want to urge the leadership to move forward very quickly, decide when the consultations are going to take place, how they are going to take place, and inform the members as soon as possible. I think we are all happy with that because that is what Orengo's motion was. Although we defeated it last time, it was supposed to have done exactly that for us. I think with that, we move to the next order. Yes, point of order from, and please don't take us back to the old one because we have already ruled on that one.
Madam Speaker, sorry to be speaking after you had given your ruling. Madam Speaker, through the ruling that you as Speaker gave to this Senate, that the other chamber is equal to this chamber, and on the basis that every member should be heard and their feelings be recorded. Madam Speaker, in that other chamber, the whole afternoon we've been trying to catch your eye. It is only in this chamber where you recognize people and they speak. Would I be in order to ask the Speaker to exercise some fairness and give every member an opportunity to speak? We've been seated there, we have things to say, but we are not being recognized by the Speaker and given that opportunity. So I'm asking, Madam Speaker, with all humility, that we also in that chamber be allowed to speak.
Thank you, Senator. As you may understand, the reason we did not move even out of this is the fact that there was already a ruling. We had agreed to adjourn, and when we agree to adjourn, normally we don't allow room for any debate. Yes, point of order from Naomi Masitsa. What's your point of order?
Thank you very much. I'm standing on point of order. Madam Speaker, it is very hardening that we cannot catch your hand, we can't catch any of the speaker's hand when we want to speak, and you repeatedly keep the same people in this house. Are they special than us who are here, that we cannot even speak even a word? We can't even be given an opportunity to contribute, Madam Speaker. If a point of order are the way that we are going to contribute in the House, then we shall be pressing point of order. Thank you.
Senator Naomi, you know it is the eye of the Speaker. And the eye is seen everywhere unfairly. Senator Maura, what's your point of order? It's a point of order already by Senator Maura.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on standing order number 116, and allow me to read it. A senator is disorderly if the senator creates disorder, knowingly raises a false point of order, unnecessarily interrupts proceedings or consults in a disruptive manner, fails to record abstention in a division, makes allegations without, in the Speaker's opinion, adequate substantiation, or commits any other breach of these standing orders that, in the opinion of the Speaker, constitutes disorderly conduct. Let me not read the whole of it, but up to that. Madam Speaker, we are living in very interesting times. There are some senators here who have made it their habit. You cannot even make a contribution because they feel so entitled that they can always stand on a point of orders. I think this is very unfair. Some of us are queuing in the line to make contributions. But you hear Senator Sakaja speaking 4 times, Senator Cherargei 5 times. You know, it's creating a sense of entitlement that there are senators who are more equal than others. And it is also disrupting the procedure of this House, Madam Speaker. I have never seen a House where it's ruled by standing orders that are false and disorderly, and at the same time statements that you discuss them up to 5 o'clock. Madam Speaker, I think this House has also been adjourned in a disorderly manner in the past. We need to adhere to our standing orders, and in that manner, give every senator a fair chance. Why am I saying so? It is not by right that every time you shout point of order, you should be given a chance to speak. Even the Speaker can tell a senator to sit down. Because some people, when you are making your points of order to be more important than the contribution, then you are derailing debate. So today, some of the senators who are here were complaining that now we should adjourn comments on the debate after they themselves have made their contribution. Madam Speaker, let me finish. The practice is, if you have actually contributed, you have no right to ask the House to adjourn debate because already you had your chance. Madam Speaker, I think we need to have a fair chance at contributing.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you, you know you are in the Speaker's panel. So you are the one who will be, we will be sorting that. Honorable Senators, I would therefore like to, you are still on the same?
Madam Speaker.
We have noted the extended chamber. We've taken note of
No,
that.
but Madam Speaker, I have not spoken in this House unless you really take our attendance here for granted. I speak this with humility. Not just about myself.
I thought you have already made your point.
No, but you didn't give a ruling. Do we have a right to speak on any subject, or we just leave? Because we cannot
Which subject are you talking about, Senator?
Madam Speaker, the adjournment you ruled on.
The adjournment.
Can I make my point, Madam Speaker?
I want
even making the point, you wouldn't let me. Can you let me make the point? Because, Madam Speaker, we have been seated there. This matter, the adjournment had been done. Everybody spoke about it on a point of order as a matter of right. Some of us who were there who wanted to speak, you wouldn't allow them to speak. So what are we doing in this house?
I'm trying to help you. I don't know why you don't want.
No, I just want an opportunity to speak. If that is how you want to help me, let me sit down and then you help me.
Senator, if you look at your standing orders on motions of adjournment, once they have been pronounced, are not debated. People started using the points of order, and I think Senator Maura is right to say to some extent, people have misused the point of order, and that's why I was insisting that we need to start making reference to the point of order when we are doing that. Because adjournment means the motion is coming back. And we wanted to be able to move and make reconciliations that we want to do. So if you want to contribute using a point of order, then it's again disorderly, the way the other members just read. I would like to persuade you that because the motion has been stood down by an adjournment, that we will go and come back to discuss the same. And as I'm telling you that I have 5 members who are on a point of order at the point when you came in, and we have not given any of them an opportunity to speak. 5 have pressed right here. So please, let's agree that we have adjourned. Honorable Senators, I want to inform you that consultations are going to be held within this week, and communication that I've received is that on Tuesday is when we are going to pass the same. So please check your pigeonholes, check your WhatsApp and your emails to get information on where the consultations will take place. But we are going to do consultations within the week, and next week, Tuesday, we are going to vote on the same. This is good for us, so that the country knows that we have ruled on when that is going to take place. Thank you, Senators. Honorable Senators, that being the case, I would like, therefore, to defer order number 12, which was the motion brought in by Senator Sakaja, because it relates to the same negotiations and consultations that are going to take place within the week. So, next order. Yes. Senator Matsayo, on a point of order.
Madam Speaker, in view of the fact that yes, in view of the fact that some of the main motion has been deferred, maybe we could go back to the petitions so that we may dispose of some of them for members who are here, so that we can move on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Senators, I think Senator Faki made a valid statement. We deferred some of the orders, so we'll go back to order number 4 on petitions. And for that petition, we have petitions. The first petition.
Order number 4, petitions.
Thank you, Senators. The first petition was from the Chairman, Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights. It's not here. The second petition was by Senator Samson Cherargei. Is not here. The third petition is to be read by the Speaker, and I will do exactly that. Is this all? Honorable Senators, there is a petition to the Senate concerning historical land injustices regarding plot number 162/V/MN CR 1070. Honorable Senators, I hereby report to the Senate that a petition has been submitted through the clerk by Mr. Salim Widadi, among others, being citizens of the Republic of Kenya, on behalf of the Wajomvu community in Mombasa County. As you are aware, under Article 1191 of the Constitution, and I quote, "Every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including enacting, amending, or repealing any legislation." Honorable Senators, the salient issues raised in the said petition are: 1, that the petitioners are amongst the 12 Swahili tribes and the earliest tribes to settle in Jomvu Kuu, Mombasa, approximately 800 years ago. Take your seat, Senator Cherargei. The Honorable Senators, the salient issues raised in the said petition, I want to read again, is: 1, that the petitioners are amongst the 12 Swahili tribes and the earliest tribes to settle in Jomvu Kuu, Mombasa, approximately 800 years ago. 2, that in 1877, a Jomvu elder allocated Dr. Kraft a parcel of land to establish a church. But however, when the land adjudication was done in 1923, the Methodist Church was allocated 150 acres of the Wajomvu community land. 3, that recently the Methodist Church have embarked on a subdivision exercise and sale of the land to third parties. 4, that the land is in the ancestral land of the Wajomvu community, who have been using the land for their livelihoods, cultural, religious purposes, and that it is their route to Jomvu, Maungucha, their fishing grounds, and further that the community has no alternative land to settle in. 5, that 3 years ago, the community submitted a memorandum on the matter to the National Land Commission, but to date, no response has been given. 4, the petitioners therefore pray that the Senate undertakes an inquiry into the matter with a view to resettle the local community on their land. 5, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 231, I shall now allow comments, observations, or clarifications in relation to the petition for not more than 30 minutes. Senator Mwinyi Haji Mohamed.
Asante Bi Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii. Kwanza ningependa kumpongeza Salim Mwidadi na wenzake kwa kuweza kuleta malalamiko haya katika bunge la Senate. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii inamaanisha kwamba wana imani kwamba watapata haki katika bunge hili la Senate. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kuwa hizi ni katika zile dhulma za kihistoria ambazo zimewahi kutokea katika jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, kama walivyozungumzia katika malalamiko hayo ni kwamba muasisi wa kanisa la ACK yani Ludwig Kraft alipoingia Kenya alisafiri mpaka Rabai ambako ndio alianzisha kanisa yake ya kwanza katika maeneo ya Rabai. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati huo safari ilikuwa ni mwendo wa miguu. Kama umewasili katika bandari ya Mombasa, na wakati huo walikuwa wanatumia ile bandari ya zamani ya Old Port, ulikuwa unapanda tena vyombo iwe ni madao ama vihori, unasafiri mpaka Jomvu Kuu. Alafu Jomvu Kuu ndio unashuka katika safari ya maji, sasa unaanza safari ya mguu kuelekea zile sehemu ambazo unaelekea. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwamba wakati ule Jomvu Kuu ambapo wakazi wao ambao wamelalamika wanaishi, ndio ilikuwa mwanzo wa safari zote za kuja sehemu za bara. Na Kraft aliposhuka pale kwanza hakuweza kuweka kanisa Jomvu Kuu kwa sababu majority ama wengi wa wakazi wa Jomvu Kuu walikuwa ni Waislamu. Kwa hivyo alikwenda ndani akaanzisha kanisa yake katika maeneo ya Rabai, na hapo ndio wakati kanisa imeweza kukua Rabai, ikawa lazima atapata nafasi, akaomba nafasi ya eneo la Jomvu Kuu ili na watu wao wengine wakija wakikaa pale wakati wanasubiri safari waweze kupata mahali pa kufanya ibada. Na walipewa sehemu ndogo ya kujenga kanisa. Mheshimiwa, jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba 1901 wakati ardhi zilipoanza kutolewa, kanisa ilipewa ardhi kiasi ya eka 150 ambazo eka zile ndio mashamba ya wenyeji walikuwa wakitumia kulima, sehemu ambazo walikuwa wanatumia kwenda kufanya uvuvi, sehemu nyingine ambazo ni makavazi ya kale ambapo wanatumia wengine kufanya ibada, ama wana mizimu yao ambao wanakwenda kuitaka radhi wakati wanataka kufanya mambo makubwa makubwa katika eneo lile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeona kwamba hii ni dhulma ya kihistoria kwa sababu ardhi ilipewa kanisa ambao kanisa ndio ilikuja pale ikapewa kijisehemu kidogo cha kujenga kanisa yao wakati ule. Na wakati ule Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa kwa majority ama wengi walioko pale ilikuwa ni Waislamu ambao walikuwa hawakubali kwanza kuwa na kanisa, lakini baadaye wakakubali kuwa na kanisa. Vipi kanisa liweze kuja kupewa eka 150 wakati wakazi hawajapewa ardhi hata kidogo? Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kwamba Kraft alipokuja alikuwa na kanisa yake ni ya ACK. Na hata ukienda Rabai hivi sasa utapata kwamba kanisa ya Evangelist Kraft ilikuwa kwenye ya ACK. Lakini jambo la ajabu ni kwa ardhi hii imebadilika kutoka kwa Jomvu Mission imekuja sasa imekuwa ni ya Methodist Church, ambao Methodist Church wameamua kuigawanya ardhi ile na kuanza kuuza bila ya kuwahusisha wenyeji wa pale. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii ni dhulma ya kihistoria kwa sababu hata National Land Commission ilipoanzishwa walipata fursa ya kuweza kuiangalia swala hili, lakini hakuna chochote kiliweza kufanyika. Ndio maana wakazi wakaja katika bunge la Senate kutaka wapewe haki kwamba ardhi hii ni ardhi yao ya kihistoria, ni ardhi ambayo wameikalia zaidi ya miaka 1000 sasa kutoka walipokaa mahali pale, wametumia kwa ukulima, wametumia kwenda kwa baharini kuvua, na vile vile wametumia kama sehemu zao za kale za kuweza kuomba Mungu wakati wanahitajika kuomba Mungu. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunaomba kamati husika iangalie swala hili kwa undani, iangalie swala hili kwa haraka, kwa sababu juzi, wiki mbili zilizopita, kulifanyika maandamano makubwa katika eneo la Jomvu Kuu, ambapo baadhi ya watu waliweza kushikwa na polisi kwa sababu wameandamana kutaka haki yao. Mheshimiwa Spika, serikali katiba yetu inatoa fursa ya watu kuandamana wakati kuna matatizo au wakati wanataka kueleza malalamiko yao. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hatuoni sababu gani watu wale waliweza kukamatwa na vile vile kupelekwa mahakamani wakati kitu walikuwa wanatetea ni haki yao ya kuweza kupewa ardhi yao ya kihistoria. Mheshimiwa Spika, ardhi ndio chombo kubwa cha uzalishaji mali. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi kuwanyima wakazi wa Jomvu Kuu, hatuwezi kuwanyima Wajomvu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ardhi yao wakati kwa sababu ya dhulma za kihistoria ambazo zimefanyika katika nchi yetu. Katiba yetu ya mwaka 2010, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni katiba ambayo inaregesha haki kama hizi kwa wenyeji ili waweze kupata haki zao na kuona kwamba haki inatendeka katika eneo lile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono pendekezo malalamiko haya ya watu wa Jomvu, na tunataka kamati husika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ifuatilie swala hili kwa haraka ili tuweze kupata ufafanuzi mapema kabla ya kujatokea maafa kutokana na swala hili. Asante Bi Spika.
Thank you, Senator Ochilo. Hayako.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to support the people of Jomvu and also to be in solidarity with my brother, Senator Faki, on this matter. Madam Speaker, the issue of land, the issue of landlessness, and the issue of freedom are all intertwined. Nobody in the world, nobody anywhere can exercise freedom without owning the land upon which that freedom is exercised. If today anybody was to come to Parliament and purport to speak here, they would be declared trespassers. If you came to my home and invited and tried to exercise your right to speech, your right to movement, I would take you to court and you would be charged with the offense of trespassing upon my land. So the basis of freedom, the basis of liberty is land. And any person who is landless in Kenya, who does not have a place that they can comfortably do what they are supposed to do under our fundamental freedoms, are people whose freedoms have been denied. So the Jomvu people, the Mombasa people, who for one reason or other lost the right to that land, are people we must be in solidarity with. And the committee to which this matter will be referred to must look at this matter urgently, must look at this matter fairly, knowing that certain Kenyans are displaced and are therefore unable to exercise their right to freedom of any kind. Madam Speaker, back in my county, Migori, and in any other county, all the public and community land parcels that are placed under county governments or national government, when opportunity to divide them arises, Madam Speaker, you will find that these opportunities are given to business people, are given to those who know how to approach the determinants of allocating this land. The people who are disadvantaged, who are not having voices, are locked out. We have large parcels of land in Nyatike, which is public land. The public land in Nyatike is being used for nothing. We have landless people in Nyatike. We have large parcels of public land in a place in Migori called Lichota. These parcels of land are now being designed for development, but they are landless people in Suna East and Suna West who do not get this opportunity. So I want to plead with the committee to which this matter will be referred to first know that human beings who have nowhere else to go must be considered by way of priority for allocation of land, because they also need somewhere where they can exercise their freedom and also be productive members of society. So I am in total solidarity with the people of Jomvu and the people of Mombasa as they try to resolve this matter. I hope in the resolution there will be an opportunity to allow our Islamic brothers and sisters to coexist with our Christian brothers and sisters, because land and all this opportunity must also unite our people. In conclusion, and lastly, Madam Speaker, want to urge that we also think about the National Land Commission and operationalize it, fund it, and allow it to do what the Constitution envisaged that it should do. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Agnes Zani Philomena.
Asante kwa fursa hii kuzungumzia juu ya ombi kutoka watu wa Jomvu kutoka Mombasa, na kushukuru Senator Faki kwa kuleta maombi haya hapa Seneti. Kwa kweli vile alivyosema na vile ambavyo tumeona haya maombi ni juu ya dhulma ya kihistoria. Hawa ni watu ambao walikuwa na ardhi yao ambayo ilikuwa wameketi hapo, wanafanya shughuli zao, kila siku wanafanya mambo yao pale, lakini inaonekana kwamba hapa katikati mambo yaligeuka. Inaonekana kwamba sasa hino ardhi si ardhi ambayo wanaweza kuimiliki vizuri, na ni kwamba wametupwa nje. Na nafikiria kwa sababu wameleta ombi hili hapa Seneti, kamati husika ina kazi ya kuangalia jambo gani haswa lilifanyika. Kwa upande wangu si vibaya kutoa ardhi kwa kanisa, lakini nimemuuliza Senator Faki akaniambia ni karibu ekari 150 ambayo inahusika, na ekari hizi pia zinauzwa kwa watu wengine sasa, ambapo wale watu ambao walikuwa wakiishi pale tangu zamani sasa hawapati nafasi, na wanaangalia kwamba hii ni ardhi ya ukoo, ardhi ambayo wameimiliki kwa miaka mingi sana, na ardhi ambayo wanahitaji, kama ni kwa upande wa uchumi, kama ni kufanya biashara, kama ni kufanya ukulima, kama ni kufanya chochote na ardhi ile. Na kwa sababu wameona kwamba dhulma hii imeendelea, na haswa katika pwani tumeona dhulma nyingi sana kwa upande wa ardhi. Kwa hivyo hawa wanajomvu wanaoleta ombi hili katika Seneti, wameleta ombi mahali sawa na ni ombi muhimu. Nafikiria ikienda kwa kamati hii itashughulikia na wataweza kutuelezea ni haswa jambo gani. Nafikiria wengine pia wataitwa hapa Seneti iwe waweze kujielezea zaidi, ili tupate kujua haswa ni kitu gani ambacho kilifanyika na tuweze kutatua shida hino. Kama hii ardhi ilipatiwa kanisa kwa sababu ya kazi fulani, basi si ardhi yote, mpaka wale ambao ni wakazi pale hawajapata chochote. Kwa hivyo nafikiria masuala haya ndio yatabidi yaangaliwe. Vyeti vya kumiliki ardhi pia viangaliwe kwa njia ambayo itakuwa njia ambayo itaweza kusaidia kujua kwamba ardhi ilikuwa ni ya nani, ardhi inapaswa iwe na nani. Na haswa hili swali la kuuza ardhi ni muhimu sana, hasa kutoka pwani, kwa sababu tunaona kwamba ardhi nyingi ikiuzwa, wale ambao walikuwa wakimiliki ardhi hino wanapata kwamba hawana mahali pa kwenda, kwa sababu kama humiliki ardhi ya babu, nyanya, babu zako wa zamani, itakuwaje sasa na utaketi wapi? Kwa hivyo ombi hili nafikiri ni muhimu. Namshukuru Senator Faki ambaye ameleta ombi hili kwa niaba ya watu ambao wanaishi Jomvu ambao wamepatikana na janga hili, na nafikiria katika Seneti tutaweza kuliangalia na kulikamilisha vilivyo na kuhakikisha kwamba haki yao wameipata. Asante.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Boy Isa Juma.
Asante sana Madam Speaker kunipa fursa hii niweze kuchangia. Kwanza nataka kumpongeza Bwana Salim Idadi, mkazi wa Jomvu, kuleta hii petition hapa katika Senate. Mheshimiwa Speaker, kama unavyojua ardhi ni jambo sugu sana katika nchi hii. Na kila pale unaposikia unapoenda tatizo kubwa ni ardhi. Si Mombasa, si sehemu za Rift Valley wala si sehemu zingine, kwamba shida kubwa ni kwamba utaona kwamba kuna unyanyasaji wa ardhi katika nchi hii yetu. Na kusema la kweli, hawa wananchi watukufu katika eneo la Jomvu, mimi mwenyewe nikiwa mdogo, historia ya Jomvu tumesoma katika vitabu, na katika Kenya history yajulikana kabisa Jomvu iko sehemu gani na Jomvu ni pahali gani. Ni pahali ambapo katika historia inajulikana sana katika historia ya Kenya kwamba Jomvu ni pahali, ni mji mmoja ambao ni wa zamani sana katika biashara, katika biashara tukisoma history, tulikuwa tukipitia tukisoma bara Jomvu. Kwa hivyo Madam Speaker, kusema la kweli, haki lazima ifuatilizwe. Na pia sisi kama viongozi lazima pia tuweze kushangia, kwa sababu malalamiko haya yalipelekwa pia katika National Land Commission yetu katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na utakuta kwamba kesi nyingi zikienda katika National Land Commission, hawachukui jukumu la haraka kutatua tatizo hili la ardhi. Wao wanasikiza malalamiko ya wananchi, lakini haki na utendaji wa haki hazifuatilizwi kabisa. Kwa hivyo Madam Speaker, mimi kusema la kweli, haki katika ardhi hii lazima ifuatiliziwe, na kama kuna komiti ambayo itachunguza hii ardhi ya watu wa Wajomvu, basi wakae chini na wale wananchi wenyewe waweze kutatua swala hili, tatizo sugu la ardhi. Ardhi ni tatizo kubwa sana, na sio Jomvu peke yake Madam Speaker. Kule kwangu katika kaunti ya Kwale sahihi kuna shida kwenye ardhi moja karibu ya Ramisi ambayo imenyakuliwa na mabepari. Kila siku maandamano hayo utakuta ni mambo ya ardhi peke yake. Huko sehemu za Waa, sehemu za Galu, Kinondo, matatizo ni hayo. Kwa hivyo Madam Speaker, mimi naomba kwamba hii kamati ambayo itasisitiza kuangalia shida hii iweze kufanya haki na watu wakazi wa Jomvu wapate haki yao. Asante sana Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Halaka Bishir Soka.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was one of the people in the other chamber that got forgotten, but I'm happy that I'm able to contribute to this. The issue of land is something that is very close to my heart, and the people of Jomvu who have brought this petition, I'd like to support them and to say that they have done the right thing to come to the Senate. Madam Speaker, Mr. Mohammed of Jomvu can be replicated in every part of the ASAL counties as well. In fact, this reminds me of the allocation of revenue and resource sharing across the country, which we've just adjourned. But when you look at that, it's basically the historical injustices where colonial style of laws and disenfranchisement of communities is happening, especially with land. Madam Speaker, all that anybody needs to do to take away land from our communities, be it in Mombasa, be it in Isiolo, be it in Mandera, is to gazette. If this land was private land, of course we are all for places of worship. In fact, if there's one place that people live in perfect harmony from any religion is the coast, and we would like our places of worship to have enough land. But it's not right that community land is usually just acquired compulsorily without any consideration for the communities that have lived there for ages. All anybody needs to do is to gazette it and convert it either to public land or to private land. That is wrong. Madam Speaker, if that land was private, somebody would have had to buy it. Why is it that when it's community land, it's just taken away from them with no consideration? Even relocation or compulsory acquisition must follow a process. Why is it that when it comes to communities, no process is followed? Madam Speaker, in the last 2 years alone, 50 quote-unquote forests have been gazetted to become public land. Not a single compensation has been given to the communities that lived there. Why are we then taking away and impoverishing our communities and taking away their land when in fact, if it was private land, somebody would have been paid for it? Madam Speaker, that speaks to the resource allocation issues. That speaks to the fact that discrimination is rife at the coast when it comes to land, that injustices are rife when it comes to land, not just at the coast, but in northern Kenya as well, where I come from, Isiolo. We had legal notice number 150, which was illegal, which then converted public land to army land, which converted public land to disease-free zones and gave it to government without compensating the people that lived there all their lives. So, Madam Speaker, today I would like to stand with the people of Jomvu and to condemn any disenfranchisement or any acquisition of land and impoverishment of the communities, instead of sharing the resources equally, ensuring that places of worship are there, but the communities that were there are also looked after.
And therefore, Madam Speaker, I would like to urge my committee that that where I used to be, Committee of Lands, and I know you will do justice to this, and the Land Commission, I would like to appeal to them. Do not take the issue of community land lightly. It is a ticking bomb, time bomb, and if it's not dealt with properly, it's going to really plunge this country into a lot of chaos. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support.
Thank you very much, Senator. Honorable Senators, Standing Order 2321 states that the petition should be committed to the relevant standing committee for its consideration. In this case, I direct that the petition be committed to the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources, and the committee is encouraged to work closely with the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights in preparing its report to the Senate. In terms of Standing Order number 2322, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioners by way of a report addressed to the petitioners and laid on the table of the House. I thank you. The last petition is from the Senator of Nandi, Senator Gerard Gay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Petition to the Senate concerning non-payment of support staff in contract with Nandi County Government. We, the people undersigned as citizens of the Republic of Kenya and support staff in Nandi County, draw the attention of the Senate to the following. One, that in October 2019, the county government of Nandi advertised job position for position of support staff 2, job group B, and cleaner 2, job group B. That in October 2019, the county government, through the County Public Service Board, issued letters to recruit staff who were to report to work on 1st November 2019 for a contract of 3 years. That the duties of the staff were mainly security services, messengerial services, cleaning duties, and others assigned by their respective supervisors. That most of the staff were deployed to health department as cleaners, and they have been working in different county hospitals without pay, despite several efforts of seeking assistance. That despite having recruited and deploying the staff to various hospitals in Nandi County, they have never been paid their salaries and allowances for the last 8 months since November up to now. That the staff are languishing in poverty, despite having secured a job at the county, most of them in health department, who are the front line working in the fight of pandemic COVID-2019. That despite several attempts to seek the matter to be addressed by the County Public Service Board and with the Chief Executive of Health, nothing has been done, but instead staff are intimidated for seeking their wages and being blackmailed. That whereof your humble petitioners pray that the Senate investigate this matter and makes appropriate recommendations thereon with a view to, prayer 1, conducting investigations into the plight of recruited support staff who are issued with official appointment letters in months of October and November 2019 and have never been remunerated up to date. That is, they have not been paid, Madam Speaker, for the last 8 months since November 2019 to now August 2020. Second, that the Senate investigates with a view to conducting a special audit to be done by the Auditor General on the Nandi County Government Finance Department on the issue of payment of salaries and remittance of statutory deductions to Kenya Revenue Authority, National Health and Insurance Fund, NHIF, and NSSF that they have been complied with. Finally, Madam Speaker, that none of the issues raised are pending in a constitutional institution or any court of law. Madam Speaker, the petitioners Mark Sirma, Alice Kurgat, Judith Chepchumba, Nelly Chemngetich, countersigned by yours truly, Senator Gerard Gay. Madam Speaker, I want to say that request the committee that you will refer this matter to, I predict, or I might think it is a committee on labor. We need special audits because, Madam Speaker, most of these people, most of these workers as security. Madam Speaker, with the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, you can imagine these are the frontline workers, Madam Speaker. They are the ones who are manning the hospitals. They are the ones who are working in cleaning services. They are more predisposed to dangers of COVID-19 infection. But from November 2019 to now, 2020, for the last 8 months plus, these support staff, the casual support staff who are earning the money, have not been able to pay it. Madam Speaker, you can imagine the pain and the agony and the anguish their families are for the last 7 to 8 months that they have not been paid by Nandi County government. Madam Speaker, and therefore we request a special audit to be done on the issue also of statutory deductions, Madam Speaker, by the special audit by the Auditor General, because we are aware Nandi County government have not been remitting the statutory deductions of NHIF, NSSF, and KRA, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, let the necessary committee of both be it CPAC and Health and other Committee on Labor to come up and rescue the lives of many workers, Madam Speaker, who are suffering because of non-payment by this, Madam Speaker. Even as the working conditions, Madam Speaker, the same people who have been demanding, Madam Speaker, for their rights have been even called. The other day, Madam Speaker, they called me that some of the people who have been agitating for better pay was summoned to the county government of Nandi in Kapsabet, and OCS was called, and the police were called in to arrest. He was detained, Madam Speaker. The members who were agitating for the labor wages and these labor rights, Madam Speaker, were detained in Kapsabet police station for almost a full day, Madam Speaker, for just speaking out. This is a blackmail, this is an intimidation by the county executive of Nandi to try and muscle the labor rights that are enshrined under Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I call Senate that the plight of the people of Nandi, especially the casual laborers that have not been paid by 8 months, Madam Speaker, I want to request humbly through your office and my colleague senators and the responsible committee to come up with appropriate remedial action so that our people can continue to enjoy their labor rights as provided and enshrined under Article 41 of the Constitution and even under Article 27 on right to dignity. Madam Speaker, you work to get money, even as we are being paid to be here. You can imagine how indignified when a father, a mother, goes back every month without pay and that the children are not getting. Madam Speaker, I thank you and thank you for that intelligence. I thank you very much.
Honorable Senators, past understanding order 231. I shall now allow comments, observations, or clarifications in relation to the petition for not more than 30 minutes. Senator Milko Alice Chepkorir.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support this petition from Senator from Nandi County, Senator Cherargei, about employees who are engaged on a contract basis in Nandi County and for the last 8 months have not been paid, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, under Article 41 on labor laws, those workers are supposed to be treated with dignity. They are supposed to be paid their dues. And furthermore, these workers, Madam Speaker, were contracted and engaged to work in very critical conditions, particularly in hospitals where right now with the COVID-19 pandemic, it is actually a challenge. Very many people would not even wish to be working there. And Madam Speaker, we are even seeing healthcare workers succumbing even to diseases out of being frontline workers. If these workers were contracted as frontline workers, Madam Speaker, nobody even knows whether they had the right gears to use, that is PPEs, whether in any case they have ever been paid at all, or what conditions they are actually, that is carrying out their particular job. Furthermore, Madam Speaker, if a contracted worker works beyond 6 months under labor laws, those workers are now supposed to be made permanent. And I think part of what the committee that is going to look into this should do is to actually implore upon the Nandi County to make these employees permanent, because they are already past 6 months. Those are no longer contracted workers on a contract basis. And Madam Speaker, in addition to that one, we are being told that in the same county, statutory deductions in the name of NHIF, NSSF are being deducted without submitting. Madam Speaker, it is an illegality, and this one here must be condemned with the strongest terms possible because of the fact that these statutory deductions go out to actually assist the workers, Madam Speaker. That means if these workers are supposed to obtain any loans, they cannot do it right now. If they are supposed to go and even pay school fees, they cannot be able to do it because actually their monies have been deducted, nobody is remitting, and in any case, I'm saying this is an illegality, and during when this committee is conducting this form of investigation, I think now the county is supposed to explain the reason why they are deducting workers' salaries without remittance. And in any case, Madam Speaker, we have been in Labour Committee, and in most cases we have been coming across several institutions where they engage workers without payment. We have even been seeing the nurses right now complaining, Madam Speaker, that they have been working and even non-payment. In any case, I think this is high time that the people who engage any worker at all should know that there is need to actually exercise caution in terms of ensuring that jobs are done with dignity, people are paid for being contracted, and in any case, these workers of Nandi must be paid as a matter of urgency even before we bring, this particular petition is brought to conclusion. We are urging the governor of Nandi County to ensure that the salaries for these workers, the 8-month salary, is paid, and in addition to that one, statutory deductions are also submitted, Madam Speaker. Otherwise, I support this petition, and I'm sure maybe if it will come to Labour Committee, we shall ensure that we shall expedite, and in any case, bring this one here to conclusion. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Senator for Nandi for having that great concern for the inhabitants of Nandi County. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, Standing Order 2321 states that the petition should be committed to the relevant standing committee for its consideration. In this case, I direct that the petition be committed to the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare. In terms of Standing Order 2322, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioner by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. I thank you, Senators. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, that brings an end to the petitions. Papers were laid already. I am informed that the Leader of Majority has a notice of motion to give. Leader of Majority, notice of motion.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Bogisho.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on 27th February 2020, 17th March 2020, 14th April 2020, and 2nd June 2020, alteration of the Senate calendar, the Senate pursuant to Standing Order 29.4 and 31.3b now resolves to hold a sitting on Tuesday, 11th August 2020 at 2:30 p.m. and thereafter to adjourn and resume sittings on Tuesday, 8th September 2020, pursuant to the calendar.
Thank you, Senator. Senators. Honorable Senators, because of the timings for such a motion as has been moved by the Leader of Majority, I would like again to defer everything else in the order paper and go straight to order paper number 25. No, 27, because it's a timed motion. So next order, read the order, please.
Order number 27, motion.
Leader of Majority.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on 27th February 2020, 17th March 2020, 14th April 2020, and 2nd June 2020, alteration of the Senate calendar, the Senate, pursuant to Standing Order 29.4 and 31.3b, now resolves to hold a sitting on Tuesday, 11th August 2020 at 2:30 p.m., and thereafter to adjourn and resume sittings on Tuesday, 8th September 2020, pursuant to the calendar. Madam Speaker, we've just now agreed as a House, resolved as a House, to adjourn debate. And since we have agreed, we need to open the opportunity, Madam Speaker, for this House to then come back and agree on or proceed with what we had before this particular adjournment. And so it is now our view, Madam Speaker, that we then don't adjourn today, but we adjourn after we have finished next week and proceed on our recess, Madam Speaker, by again another additional week. So this is a very straightforward motion, and I therefore beg to move and ask a Senate Minority Leader to second.
Senate Minority Leader.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I support this motion. Madam Speaker, it is without doubt that we must meet again next week, because there's business which is still pending, although we were supposed to go on recess. But there are compelling reasons why we should reconvene on Tuesday next week, and I fully support the position taken by the Leader of the Majority in the House. Madam Speaker, in supporting this motion, I want to say, without fear of contradiction, like I like saying, that nations go through moments that you either elect to resolve the great questions, historical questions, and political questions that are confronting a nation, or you run away from them. And in those moments, Madam Speaker, you require statesmen, people who are even adversaries, to come together, like Martin Luther King would say, on the table of brotherhood, to resolve the important questions that confront a nation. And we have said, and it has been repeated, Madam Speaker, here, that Kenya is one indivisible nation that believes in democracy and human rights. And I want to remind Kenyans using this platform that unless we can sit down together and reason together and resolve the great questions that face the Republic of Kenya, this country cannot achieve the changes and the economic aspirations that our people want. Madam Speaker, you may remember that there were two great statesmen in the Middle East called Rabin, who was a war hero, somebody who fought wars and won wars in military confrontations of many types. and you have the liberation fighter called Yasser Arafat. They were able to get together and shake hands to bring peace in that very divided part of the world. And Madam Speaker, Nelson Mandela and de Klerk, people from two totally different worlds, were able to have a handshake and talk together and bring peace and freedom to the people of South Africa. In Kenya today, we've got a historical moment, Madam Speaker, where the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, has agreed to work with Raila Amolo Odinga and other political figures to bring peace and prosperity to this country so that we can become truly a perfect union, one nation, and one country. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I plead that we give ourselves the opportunity to come and talk to each other, reason together, and come back with solutions that can make a difference to the nation and to the country. So, Madam Speaker, I support and second this motion for the alteration of the calendar and seek that you use your discretion in calling on us to come back on Tuesday next week. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the motion that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on 27th February 2020, 17th March 2020, 14th April 2020, and 2nd June 2020, which are on the alterations of the Senate calendar, the Senate pursuant to Standing Order 29-4 and 31-3B now resolves to hold a sitting on Tuesday, 11th August 2030 at 2:30 p.m. and thereafter to adjourn and resume sittings on Tuesday, the 8th September 2020, pursuant to the calendar. Senator Zani Agnes Philomena.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I wish to support this motion. I think we've all listened to the discussions in the afternoon, and it's very clear that the momentum dictates that we continue with this process and that we also try as much as possible to gain the much-needed consensus to be able to talk together and be able to deliver for Kenyans who are really waiting very anxiously. Because, Madam Speaker, we're looking at a formula that's going to guide the revenue allocation in counties for the next 5 years. And therefore, it is very critical and very important that all counties really are brought aboard this discussion, and that the idea of equity also is well imputed so that every county can understand what is going on. Number two, Madam Speaker, as I said earlier, it's very important at this point that the various formulas that are coming in are explained and understood. We've also had an idea of probably also involving CRA again and looking at the parameters, because, Madam Speaker, any parameter weight, once it is changed, really creates a difference in the allocation that is given to the counties. And therefore, a lot of discussion, a lot of simulation will be needed. And as we alluded earlier on, even involving the budget office and being able to come up with simulations that we can explain to each other. Madam Speaker, we also have various amendments, and I was just saying a few minutes ago that I feel like with these amendments, we are nearly there, because if you also look at the amendments, there's a lot of similarity in what we are proposing. I think the bottom line in all those amendments is really to say that let counties at least begin at the baseline of what they received in the 2019-2020 allocation, because even what they were able to receive is probably also still not enough. We know that we had deficits in various counties in terms of them actually being able to attain what they need to attain. So I think we are making a decision that we don't want to go on adjournment now at such a critical time. We are adjusting the calendar to allow us time to debate, to consult, to talk together, and be able to deliver. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Thank you, Senator Milko Alice Chepkorir.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support this motion to come back and resolve the stalemate that is before this House. Madam Speaker, I want to say that people in this country are really waiting for funding, particularly so with what is happening in the country right now. Many of the county governors are complaining that they cannot even manage to put in place some of the necessary items to use to fight COVID-19. And in any case, I think when we come back on Tuesday, and if we are able to resolve this stalemate, we shall be able to actually assist our country in terms of that. And secondly, Madam Speaker, if in this case, retreating and coming back on Tuesday will bring harmony in this House, I think it is worthwhile. However, I wish to say that whatever the case, the moment we apply as a mathematician, I know that any formula, the moment we apply any figure, it is actually a variance, and at least there will be some counties that will be losing. What it is that I think by Tuesday, it should be high time that people should be able to know that whatever variance we use, some counties will be able to lose, and in any case, we should come together in harmony, and maybe this is a time when we are saying we need to pass the equalization fund so that it may be able to cushion those counties as well that are going to lose funding. Madam Speaker, I wish to support this motion that we meet again on Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ongeri Samson Kegengo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to also weigh in on this adjournment motion. It's important that we put this nation together. It's critical that we move together as a nation, and as senators representing this country and the various counties, what has happened is we have just merely postponed the problem. That issue has got to be decided one way or the other. And I will urge and request that the leadership and the Speaker should convene as early as possible so this matter can be deliberated upon and an agreement agreed upon. Because if we don't do so, we increase the level of anxiety. If we don't do so, we also make the counties become very uncertain on how to handle their budgets. There is need to be there is a need for predictability of these resources. And therefore, just the motion of adjournment that was passed on this day, we live with it at the moment, but we should know that sooner than later, we still have to be called upon to make a prudent decision on how these resources should be shared out. And I think without discussing the merits and demerits of the motion, that when eventually they does arrive, that we should be looking at those counties that have lost in this formula, how they can be cushioned up so that they can also feel as part of the family. And secondly, those who have gained should also let go a little bit so that we can cushion back. And at this stage, there is this equalization fund, which has built up to more than 20 billion Kenya shillings. And that fund is sitting somewhere pretty without any job, without any function whatsoever. And this is the time to recruit that kind of a fund so that you buttress some of these counties that are losing out on this particular shareable revenue. And I must say that even at the national level, there are those infrastructure programs that need to be funded by the national government. And I think if we can also look carefully and be able to take care of counties, and for being, let me be selfish a bit, for counties like Nyamira, that they should be able to get something that can buttress the losses. And many other counties, including Mombasa, and including Kwale, Kilifi, Mandera, and all those, we need not argue and quarrel about this thing. Eventually, I think we should agree With those few remarks, I support this movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Senators. Senators, this does not concern counties, so I will now put the question that notwithstanding the resolutions of the Senate made on 27th February 2020, 17th March 2020, 14th April 2020, and 2nd June 2020, on alterations of the Senate calendar, the Senate pursuant to Standing Order 29.4 and 31.3b now resolves to hold a sitting on Tuesday, 11th August 2020 at 2:30 p.m. and thereafter to adjourn and resume sittings on Tuesday, 8th September 2020, pursuant to the calendar. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Senators, motion number 13 is deferred. It's on a division. Motion number 40, I'll defer the following orders, the following order papers. Order 14, Order 15, Order number 16, number 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. All those stand deferred. Next order.
Order number 27, the Community Health. Order number 25, the Community Health Services Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2020, second reading.
Senator Dr. Agnes Zani.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to move that the Community Health Services Bill 2020 be read a second time. This is Senate Bill number 5 of 2020. Madam Speaker, I just want to very quickly talk about community workers, what they do, and why they are so important, especially now during the time of COVID, and clearly we did not know that this was going to erupt. We have a group of people who, Madam Speaker, with your indulgence, maybe I can just remove because there's social distancing so that I can speak quite clearly, and I'll put back my mask.
Yeah.
We have a group of people called community health workers who work at the basic level in the community, who interact with the communities. These are the workers who go from household to household, talking to members of households, finding out what diseases they have, being able to give them some sort of basic health information that is very, very critical. Indeed, Madam Speaker, their work is so dire, and in many communities they are well received and recognized. In certain countries, and even during the time of COVID, we saw some countries do very well, for example, countries like Germany, and it's because they already have this structure. Madam Speaker, we do have a structure of community health workers that goes right up to the community, but particularly this category, one way or another, has not really been highlighted in terms of actually ensuring that the work is recognized and even appreciated within societies. Madam Speaker, many times they're referred to as community health volunteers, and they work as volunteers. The reason for this bill is really to try to upgrade them to be considered not as volunteers specifically, but involve the issue of really recognition. Because when you talk about a worker, and this is the recommendation from WHO, then you're talking about somebody who has a place within a particular society. Madam Speaker, during the public participation of this bill, very many people were very, very clear about the role that these particular people have to play and the need to entrench the legal, functional mechanism for recognition. That is where the legal gap is missing, and that is why this legislation has come on for. Madam Speaker, as I speak here, there are certain counties that have actually gone ahead and tried to already put into place their own bills to address these community health workers. And as much as we're coming with it as a legislative proposal and during public participation, the COG, for example, of the opinion, like, let it be, let them be able to just get together and do their work within counties without a legislative framework. Madam Speaker, this is a group and category of workers who are so important in the specific categories of workers, because there are very many people, Madam Speaker, as you know, who are not able to go to a dispensary, who are not going to be able to go to a hospital, who really need the sort of intervention that community health workers really give. And Madam Speaker, I've brought these bills at the floor of the House of Senate to show that many counties have already begun this process, and to encourage us that as Senate, we actually bring this legislation so that these particular counties can be able to entrench on this legislation, and they can also vary to their specific issues within their counties. Madam Speaker, the community health workers already exist. In some counties, they are given some allocation of money. In other counties, they are not given allocation of money. It is done arbitrarily by some counties, So the structuring of this is very, very important. And the specific counties who have been able to really put out this legislation in place include the Nairobi City Council Community Health Services Bill from Nairobi County. We have the Homa Bay County Community Health Services Bill. This is from Homa Bay. We have the Turkana County Community Services Act 2018. These have already passed it as an act, Madam Speaker. So the counties are already putting legislation in place, and we don't have the legal legislative framework nationally. And that legal legislative framework can only come from the Senate. We also have the Narok County Community Health Services Bill, which is very, very critical. Madam Speaker, there's evidence across the world about the impact of community health services functionality on various aspects of health that are very critical, be it reproductive, be it maternal, be it newborn children, be it adolescent health, just to emphasize. And data actually shows, specifically, for example, increase in women attending at least 4 antenatal clinics visits raises their ability to have productivity heightened and to have child mortality improve. It improves from 39% to 62%. Madam Speaker, because I want to move this bill and also have Senator Alice Milgo also second it so that we can begin to debate, because even now as we speak, counties are just waiting and hopeful that we'll be able to get to that point. I just want to make a very quick run through of what this bill has, just to give it, an idea about what is being covered. It specifies the role of national governments and county governments. It puts into place Director of Community Health Services. It really appoints and enables us to understand how the appointment of community health workers is done, the functions of community health workers, the register, the inspection of the register. Madam Speaker, in short, we want to put order, functionality, and legislation in the area of community health services. I move and request Senator Milgo to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator. I hope you are aware that you are entitled to 1 hour. Okay, thank you. So, Senator Milgo.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second this bill by Senator Dr. Sani, a very important bill indeed, which is going out to actually breach the legal gap between community health workers, which are majorly volunteers. Actually, what is missing in this particular area is the framework for actually recognizing, as well as maybe even registering, and the function of the national as well as county governments. And this one has actually come out very clearly in the bill. And in this case, once this bill is ascended to Madam Speaker, it shall go a long way to actually encourage this group of people to assist people in the communities. I have seen these people particularly even around Kipra area right now. I have seen them going around assisting those people who are even terminally ill, others who have been sitting in their houses with lack of funding to seek health care. And in any case, they have been able to bring to the fore some of the conditions that have had to be solved. Madam Speaker, I'm sure once this bill passes, what it is that it shall be a game changer for our community health workers, and therefore I want to thank Senator Sani, and therefore I second. Thank you.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the motion that the Community Health Services Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2020, be now read a second time. Honorable Senators, Honorable Senators, for the convenience of the House, we will now rise. Senators, it's now 6:27 p.m., time to interrupt the business of the Senate. The House therefore stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 11th, 2020 at 2:30 p.m.